foot yesterday. He was walking with his family in a construction area through some tall grass and was bitten by a water. He spent some time, didn't want him to come to the game today. He had, in fact, had to sign a waiver in order to be here. They also want him to wear crutches. He said no crutches. He'll be going back to the hospital when the game is over today. And Chuck Noll. Is there a feud between the two? Chuck Noll says, I don't know anything about a feud. Jerry Glanville says, well, we won't be exchanging pleasantries today. Tony Zendejas is ready to kick off for the Houston Oilers. And it is Dwight Stone deep for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's the kick by Zendejas, high but short, and fielded at the 21-yard line. And a return across the 25 to the 27 by Ouija Thompson, one of the up men, who was finally tackled by Eugene Seal, the top-notch special teams performer for the Houston Oilers. Here's a look at that Pittsburgh starting offensive lineup. That offensive line has allowed more to use the shotgun for the first time under Noel. Carter and Hill come in. Carter, the team's leading receiver. Todd Blackledge with a first down from his own 28-yard line. Lips in motion. And it'll go on the ground to Tim Worley, their first-round draft choice, the rookie out of Georgia, who gets only a couple of yards to the 29 before he's stopped by Pro Bowl performer Ray Childress. Here's a look at that Houston defensive starting lineup. They got 6 turnovers against the Bears last week. Bird, who's tough against the run, gets a start today. Lyles had 2 interceptions against the Bears, 4 for the season. In the secondary, rookie Bubba McDowell has played well, leads the team in tackles. Brown has 3 interceptions. In the Oiler 4-0 defense, Richard and Kenny Johnson give them 6 defensive backs. 2nd and 8 for the Steelers. Hodge in motion this time, and Worley again gets the ball, and he's got a yard only to the 30 before he's stopped by John Grimsley from an inside linebacker spot. So Houston, which is very tough against the run, 4th in the NFL on rushing defense, has held the Steelers on their first 2 rushing possessions.
Well, certainly Ray Childress, the defensive end for Houston, is an excellent player, a Pro Bowler. But what Houston has done to shore up their run defense earlier was put Richard Bird in for Sean Jones. Now it's a passing situation, and Sean Jones is back in the game.
And Todd Blackledge in the shotgun. 6 defensive backs for the Oilers. The Steelers set 3 wide receivers to the right. Now put one of them in motion. That is Carter in motion. High snap, flag down. Blackledge scrambles and releases it. Tipped away. Incomplete. Brown got a hand on it. Well, that play was ill-conceived from the start. The snap was high. A flag went down. And then Blackledge had his pass tipped away.
Well, I thought Blackledge made a good catch. First of all, on the snap, the pass protection wasn't bad. He was able to step up and look for a receiver. So I think that's a good indication for Coach Noll.
Number 91, defense, 3rd down.
Jerry Markbright saying that Johnny Meads was offside.
Well, let's see if we can find Meads. It looked like it was on the left side of your crazy excess protection pocket forward by that front. And that's going to have to do today. They're going to have to give Blackledge some time to find his receiver.
So it's 3rd and 3 now for Blackledge and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5 defensive backs on for the Oilers. Again, the shotgun formation. Carter in motion. Blackledge sacked. There's another penalty marker down. Blackledge sacked at the 30-yard line by Sean Jones, number 96. Let's see if the penalty will be against the Oilers again.
Holding, number 79, offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
So John Reenstra was guilty of the hold, and it'll bring up 4th down for the Steelers. Chuck Noll not happy with that first series as the Steelers get Harry Newsome into the game. You see that he's punted more time than anybody else in the NFL. That's Kenny Johnson deep for the Oilers. The Oilers blocked 2 Newsome punts in 1988. Coming after him here. He gets it away. Good punt by Newsome. Johnson calls for a fair catch. Collides with the Steeler, and a flag goes down. That was Dwight Stone down in a hurry. Johnson made a late fair catch call, and the collision ensued. It was a 39-yard kick.
Well, I don't think it was really a bad play by Dwight Stone. He was going down the field quickly, and I thought he got bumped a little bit by a blocker, and it didn't appear he tried to hit Johnson at all. It was just a minor bump.
We have an invalid fair catch signal on number 23, receiving team. It'll be 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now that makes sense right there. I was a little confused myself. Let's check the signal. Well, that's a pretty good signal, but the official's opinion, it wasn't enough. There you saw the slight bump that I thought was called. Take another look at it, see when he gets that hand up there. Now that's a pretty clear fair catch signal to me. I guess they construed it as being a bit late.
I thought it was a little late. It didn't give Stone much chance to react. It is a first down for the Oilers at the 27-yard line at Houston. Mike Rozier is in the starting lineup here. And it's Rozier that gets the carry across the 30 to the 32-yard line before he's stopped by Gerald Williams. Jerry Glanville said yesterday that this is Rozier's kind of game. Let's take a look at the Houston starting lineup. A veteran offensive line led by Pro Bowl performers Munchak and Matthews. In the backfield, Moon, the AFC Offensive Player of the Week after passing for over 300 yards against the Bears. Hill is the top receiver. Rozier gets the start in place of Alan Pinkett. Now in the red gun formation, Moon goes to the shotgun. Jeffries and Duncan in to give the Oilers 4 wide receivers. 2nd and 5 for Warren Moon and company. It's like Moon may be changing the play. Pitch it. It's Mike Rozier banging his way forward for a first down. Dwayne Woodruff had to make the tackle on Rozier, who took the pitch and picked up the initial first down of the game. Here's the Pittsburgh defense, which forced Cleveland into 7 turnovers a week ago. Up front, Aaron Jones replaces the injured Tim Johnson. Veterans Hinkle and Little lead a solid linebacking core. In the secondary, rookie strong safety Carnell Lake, AFC Defensive Player of the Week after a big game against the Browns. In the Steeler dime, Woodson, though he has an injured shoulder, will play. Griffin is the 6th defensive back in that situation. First down, Houston at its own 39-yard line. I formation. Rozier, the tailback, gets the handoff, works his way to about the 39 before he's thrown back by a host of white-shirted Steelers, with Keith Willis leading the charge, help from Hardy Nickerson.
Well, right now, the best part of this Steeler football team is on the field, and that's their defense. That's the main reason they beat Cleveland last week. They held Minnesota. They've come together. That man right there, Keith Willis, who missed the '88 season, is playing back to form, and he's just charged up the other ball players around him. I might add Joe Green, the defensive line coach, is doing a terrific job with these young defensive linemen.
No gain for Rozier on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Split backs this time. Moon fumbles the snap. Let's see if he got it back. It looks like Moon is down at the bottom of that pile, cradling the football with a couple of Steelers trying to get it away from him. That was David Little in a wrestling match with Moon for the football. Warren Moon won the battle, and Jerry Glanville's Oilers retained possession.
Well, let's take a look and see if we could tell what caused the fumble. This shouldn't happen, especially in the pros, and I can't really tell whether Warren Moon was pulling out a hair early or the ball was a hair late. But one thing about it, Tom, when a quarterback and center work together, it should be as close to automatic as you can get. Those snaps should not be fumbled.
Here's the red gun on 3rd and 11. Jeffries and Duncan join Hill and Givens, and the dime for the Steelers. Moon's first down to Hill at midfield. Drew Hill split defenders at midfield to make the catch as Warren Moon drilled it in for his first completion of the game. It covered 12 yards, and Drew Hill with a first down grab.
Drew Hill's a quick, speedy receiver. Now, number 37, Carnell Lake, will be on the right side of your screen trying to take away the turn-in that Drew Hill runs. But with his quickness, he's able to elude Carnell Lake just a little bit. Now, Lake is one of the best strong safeties in the league already, Tom, and he's just a rookie. But he's still going to have a hard time trying to keep up with these speedy receivers of Houston.
First down at the 50-yard line. Lorenzo White is in. He's the only running back for the Oilers at the moment. You see Givens turning to the wide receiver to perhaps denote a change in the play. White gets the carry and gets only a yard before he's pounced on by Brian Hinkle. Lorenzo White was telling us yesterday it's pretty tough mentally They have so many good running backs to the Oilers that you don't get too many chances in this offense. And he said you really have to keep your head in the game and make whatever contribution you have. Now it's Alan Pinkett that comes into the lineup, and they've used 3 different tailbacks so far. Rozier started, White came in, and now Pinkett on the ball game. 2nd and 9, just across midfield into Steeler territory. Highsmith and Pinkett, the running backs. Moon's pass complete to a wide open Gibbons. Ernest Gibbons right out of bounds at the first down marker. No Steeler close to him. Delton Hall finally recovered to push him out of bounds after an 11-yard gain.
Well, pass like this is almost like stealing. The Steelers are playing a soft zone defense. Delton Hall's a good 12 yards off the ball, and Moon gets the ball out there quickly and accurately, and Ernest Gibbons is still 4 yards away from Delton Hall. What Hall doesn't want to do is give Gibbons the easy score, the long touchdown, make the Oilers earn every yard they get.
Delton Hall replacing the injured Rod Woodson in the secondary for the Steelers. First down at the Pittsburgh 39-yard line. Rozier back in, gets the toss, picks his way forward, spins away across the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Carnell Lake and Hardy Nickerson finally got Rozier down, but seeing the most playing time he has this season. He held out during training camp. He had only 4 carries coming into today's game, but as you see, he's been the mainstay of the Oiler rushing attack the last 4 years.
Yes, and he relies on that offensive line. Here we take a look at number 93, Keith Willis, going up against Dean Steinkuhler in the middle of your screen, and Steinkuhler just buries him, just knocks him down on the ground. Alonzo Highsmith threw a good block for Rozier, and Rozier looks like his old self.
He does. He's already doubled his carries for the season. 4 carries, 20 yards today. There's his 5th. Bangs forward close to the 30, just short of the first down. The ball spinning around, but it was down. And it'll bring up a 3rd down situation for Houston, 3rd and short. Well, Jerry Glanville said this was Mike Rozier's kind of game, a tough inside runner for a tough AFC opponent, the Pittsburgh Steelers. An injured Steeler on the field. We can't tell who it is yet. And we'll take a break here with 7:22 left in a scoreless first quarter from Houston. Astrodome, that's the situation, scoreless with 7:20 and counting in the first quarter. The injured player, Greg Lloyd, outside linebacker for the Steelers. He's on the sideline now, but apparently not seriously injured. Replaced by the rookie Gerald Williams out of Purdue, 4th-round draft choice, who has played well in his first year with the Steelers. Rozier and Highsmith are the running backs on 3rd and 2. Mike Rozier. He's got the first down. Brian Hinkle threw him back, but Mike Rozier had enough for the first down yardage.
Well, Bruce Matthews just makes a good block on a defensive lineman, and those tackles taken all the way down the line of scrimmage. Gerald Williams, and you see the hole there. Now, David Little makes a pretty good play, but Rozier has the speed and quickness, plus the strength to get up there. There's Bruce Matthews, 74. Excellent blocker.
Greg Lloyd sat out of play, back on the field now for the Steelers. First down, Houston at the 28 of the Steelers. Opening possession of the game for the Oilers. Penalty marker down. This is Alonzo Highsmith trying to turn the corner. Lowers his head and bangs for a couple of yards to the 25. Dwayne Woodruff and Thomas Everett rode him out of bounds. Jerry Markwright will signal the penalty flag. Offside against the Steelers.
Frustrating penalty for coaches. You'd like for your defensive linemen, people on the ball, to see that ball out of the corner of their eye and move when the ball is moving, not before. I know Coach Knoll has told his defensive linemen this, but when they get so keyed up and fired up, man, they're ready to go.
Offside, number 97. Defense lined up in the neutral zone. First down.
Aaron Jones lined up in the neutral zone.
I don't know. I guess you just forgot where he was, Coach.
Well, he's starting today replacing Tim Johnson, and a little overeager. The first-round draft choice, 1988, out of Eastern Kentucky University. It makes it 1st and 5 now for the Houston Oilers. Each team with a 5-yard penalty in the game so far. Pinkett and Highsmith, the running backs. That's Gibbons in motion. Allen Pinkett hit at the 20-yard line and driven back. Keith Willis, the defensive end, again doing a good job, and Brian Hinkle coming along to help out. So look at other games in progress now.
You know, Pittsburgh must try to stop the Oilers on first down. They gave them the 5-yard penalty. Anytime the offense gets right now at 2nd and 3, they get in this position, the offense is dictating what they want to do basically against the Steelers.
2nd and 3. Rozier tries to get outside, then slips it inside. Across the 15 down to the 12-yard line. Good run by Mike Rozier.
Good run, good blocking, but he better start putting that football away. He's carrying that thing out there like a loaf of bread, and these Steelers, they surround the ball carrier. There's good pursuit, so Mike Rozier better darn well put that football away, or these Steelers are going to knock it out of his hand.
Rozier goes to the sideline now as Lorenzo White comes in.
Let's take another look. Excellent blocking over there on the right side of the screen. The Steelers just turned everyone in. And here, Rozier takes outside. But that ball's flying around too loose there. He's lucky he got away with that.
From the 14-yard line is where they spot the ball. First down for the Oilers. 4:35 left in the first quarter. No score. Pitch it to White. Hit, spins away. Still going to the 10. Another penalty marker on the play. Thomas Everett hit White hard. He spun away and got to the 10-yard line for a 4-yard gain. Penalty holding against the Oilers.
Lorenzo White's not the kind of back you can just knock off his feet. You have to wrap him up.
Illegal block, number 63, on the run. First down.
Mike Munchak called for the penalty. Jerry Glanville studying his playlist. If you just joined us, Glanville bitten by a water moccasin yesterday on his foot. Spent some time in the hospital and will go back after the game.
And for those that are interested in the moccasin, he died.
Here's the penalty situation. The Oilers, as usual, the most penalized team in the league. That includes the penalties so far in this game. 1st and 15 for the Oilers. 14th play of the drive. Highsmith on the draw. Still keeps his legs going back to the 12-yard line. Good running by Alonzo Highsmith. He shook off a couple of tacklers, and Greg Lloyd, who injured his shoulder a few plays ago, finally got him down.
Well, that's what you need. You need to be an individual player sometimes. Highsmith does a lot of this on his own. Quick feet, and he's strong. Look at these cuts. He'll cut back in here. Now, for a fullback, folks, he's one of the quickest there is in the league. Now, I don't think it was poor tackling. I think it was a combination of good blocking in here. You see that, boy, that Munchak has just done a heck of a job right there on the nose tackle that time, Gerald Williams.
3rd and 8 for the Oilers from the 12 of Pittsburgh. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. No score. Moon throws a screen to Pinkett. Pinkett is close to the first down marker as Gerald Williams recovers, gets to the sideline to knock him out of bounds. Pinkett on the screen for a good game.
Gerald Williams saved a touchdown that time. The big nose tackle hustled out there and was able to trip Pinkett up. It's a nice kind of screenplay. It's interesting to me that Moon rolls toward the screen. Now you see 98, Gerald Williams on the right of your screen. He's able just to trip up Pinkett right here. Otherwise, Pinkett is home for a touchdown.
If they spot the ball where his knee touched, it'll be just short of the first down. And on 4th down, Jerry Glanville is going to ask for a timeout. So on 4th down, they are 5 for 5 this season. And Glanville is going to talk to Warren Moon now to decide whether they'll go for it or attempt the field goal. Houston threatening as we take a timeout with 2:25 left in the first quarter. Welcome back to the Astrodome, where confusion reigns at the moment. The Houston Oilers have not been charged with a timeout because the down marker was incorrect. It said 4th down when it was only 3rd. Jerry Glanville had called a timeout to decide whether to go for it or not. When they discovered the error, they did not charge Houston with the timeout. There's the down marker, which earlier had said 4th down. So it's only 3rd.
On the 30-second clock, 15 seconds.
And Jerry Markwright putting 15 seconds on the play clock. So they're also reviewing the placement of the football at the moment to see whether it is short of the 1st down, which indeed, if we go by the replay we saw earlier, it is.
15 seconds, please.
And you know, it was the hustle of Gerald Williams, the nose tackle of the Steelers, that created this situation. By getting from the middle of the field all the way across the field to tackle Pinkett, he saved a touchdown, and now Houston's in a 3rd down and 2 situation. A tremendous play by Gerald Williams. Could be one of the big plays of the game, Tom, if they're able to hold Houston here.
Jerry Glanville waiting for play to resume while they continue to review placement of the football. L.T. Bonner is the replay official, and they're using the replay. Look at Jerry Markwright looking up at the replay booth, trying to get the correct placement of the football. Well, we remember the replay we had before that last break, that it appeared that the runner was down just short of the 1st down. Here it is from the end zone.
Let's see where his knee goes down at the 5.5-yard line, almost the 6-yard line. They have the ball in a pretty good position right there.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be just short, if at all. Let's look at it from the side angle.
Well, you see his knee going down right there. The ball, of course, was ahead of where his knee went down, so they should mark the forward progress of the ball, but they're ending up marking it where his knee hit the ground.
Well, our producer, Tommy Roy, and our director, J.D. Henson, giving the replay official, L.T. Bonner, a good look at it.
Well, there's no doubt, once again, that the knee hit the ground just past the 6-yard line, inside the 6. However, the ball in Pinkett's hand, when the knee hits, is out in front over that yard marker. Now, are they going to spot it where his knee hits or where the ball was at the time?
The spot is the 3.5-yard line, and it's a 1st down.
Well, Joe, you were exactly right. They gave him the correct spot where the ball is when the knee touches, and it is enough for a 1st down at the 3.5.
Yeah, I don't think he should have gotten that much out of it. I mean, I thought it should have been around the 4, this side of the 4, not inside. He got a good mark out of that.
So 1st and goal from the 3.5 for the Oilers, who come with 3 tight ends, Carrasco, Verhulst, and Maggs, who is normally a tackle in at a tight end spot. Highsmith and Rozier, the running backs. Verhulst in motion. Pitch to Rozier. Cuts up, hit, and dropped for no gain. Good swarming defense by the Steelers that time, led by the veteran linebacker Brian Hinkle.
Boy, when it gets down this close, those big linemen up front, they just want to get in there low, not get driven off the ball, and the linebackers have to come up fast and fill. Here you see the 2 inside linebackers, Little getting over there, and they're just trying to get up in the hole. Nickerson nowhere to go, but it's the defensive front that really must get penetration on that offensive line.
2nd and goal from the 2. They mark forward progress at the 2-yard line. Rozier again, and again hit and driven back by the Steeler defense. This time, David Little, the other veteran linebacker on the left side defensively for the Steelers, leading the charge. He met Rozier and drove him back.
That's right. Watch number 54 on the right of your screen also, Hardy Nickerson. He's going to get in there to get a piece of this ball carrier, but it's Little who makes the initial contact, and then Nickerson comes in to try and lean up, knock him back a little bit farther.
So the Oilers try a different tack now. They take out one of their 3 tight ends, Maggs, and replace him with a wide receiver, Curtis Duncan. Alan Pinkett in the backfield as Tony Zendejas warms up for a possible field goal try if this 3rd and goal from the 3 is not successful. Moon rolls, passes, touchdown. Alonzo Highsmith got in front of linebacker Brian Hinkle for the easy touchdown catch, which covers 3 yards.
Alonzo Highsmith got outside of him, too. He's about 7 yards open. That was a pretty good play action fake that allowed Alonzo Highsmith to get that big jump out there on Brian Hinkle.
Highsmith with the touchdown, his first receiving touchdown of the season, his 5th touchdown overall. Tony Zendejas has hit all 18 of his point-after attempts this season. Montgomery will hold. And the point-after is good. Well, the Houston Oilers on their first possession take up most of the first quarter as they drive down the field for a 7-0 lead. Here's with a 12-minute drive have the lead. Dwight Stone is deep to receive the kickoff as Tony Zendejas is ready to put it in play. Another short kick by Zendejas taken by Thompson, and he gets to the outside. Quick move by Ouija Thompson and a good return. Eugene Seal for the 2nd consecutive kickoff has to make the tackle for the Oilers.
First, let's take a look at that touchdown. The fake by Warren Moon keeps on the left side of your screen number 53, Brian Hinkle. He gets tied up with the tight end Morosco, and you see both Highsmith and Morosco are wide open. Just a good play action fake, and Warren Moon able to throw on the run. I mean, he could throw to his right, he could throw to his left. He's one of the best passers in the league.
He's not quite that fast, however. First down play coming up for the Steelers from their own 37. Just 17 seconds left in the quarter. Tim Worley trying to turn the corner and does for about an 8-yard gain. Tim Worley rambles around the right side. Al Smith bumps him out of bounds with 9 seconds left in the quarter. A first quarter that has seen the Oilers dominate time of possession. Over 12.5 minutes for Houston, just 2.5 for the Steelers.
Well, Houston got their running game going. They had some short passes, 17 plays and 73 yards. My goodness. When you can control the ball like that and score 2, you've really got a good chance of winning.
Todd Blackledge on his 2nd possession of the game. They had to punt on their first. Lips in motion. And it looked like John Rienstra, the left guard of the Steelers, jumped offside. So illegal procedure, a 5-yard walk-off.
Well, Rienstra's a little anxious on that last running play. He was called earlier for holding.
Full start, number 79, offense, 2nd down.
So this is the first quarter that John Rienstra may want to forget about. He's at left guard. Right there, you see him starting out way early, folks. He's just anxious, wants to get going, and forgot the snap count.
Looks like the play was going to the left. Will you change the play now after a tackle jumps offside or a guard and gives it away?
Well, because the yardage is different, you might change the play. If it were the same yardage, you might stay with the same play.
2nd penalty for 10 yards against the Steelers. Sets up a 2nd and 8. That's Worley in motion. And Blackledge immediately calls a timeout. Now he had 9 seconds left, so it must have been some formation that didn't please him.
And he called it fast, too. I'm not sure, with 9 seconds left on the clock, why he got out of it so quickly. I guess he felt like he just couldn't get the play run with that formation.
Blackledge told us that he was feeling comfortable now at the quarterback spot. This is his 2nd start. But he said he always tried to prepare. He said the tragedy of being a backup quarterback would be to finally get your chance and not be prepared. Now, in the Pittsburgh system, the starting quarterback gets 100% of the snaps in practice, which means that Bubby Brister was getting all the work, Blackledge none, before Brister went down with an injury.
And, you know, I don't particularly like that idea of 100% of the work for the number 1 guy. Coach Knowles started that with Terry Bradshaw and said Terry Bradshaw performed better getting 100% of the work. But, man, when something happens, if something were to happen to Blackledge, get a bruise of any kind, you've got to come in with a backup quarterback, Strom, who hasn't practiced much at all this week.
There's Chuck Noll, whose team was outscored 92-10 in the first 2 games, and then promptly turned around to win 3 of 4, including the big victory over Cleveland last week. Blackledge. That ball sailed on him, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Bubba McDowell, the rookie safety, intended for O'Shea. McDowell still spinning and going, still on his feet, tries to get to the outside, laterals the ball, fumbled, and finally mercifully out of bounds at the 40-yard line. What a wild play that was. Patrick Allen wound up with the football. McDowell ran every which way and finally tried to lateral it. Well, McDowell drew a lot of praise from Jerry Glanville, and here he picks off a fluttering pass from Todd Blackledge. 2nd interception thrown by Blackledge this season.
Well, I'm sure Todd didn't like that. The ball did hang up a little bit. He was trying to get it to Terry O'Shea, the tight end, and O'Shea really didn't have a chance at the ball. A good play by McDowell, but certainly a bad pass by Blackledge. He has pretty good protection, and he wants to go to the right side, can't find anybody. And here, the receiver looks open, but the ball hangs in the air too much. It just takes too long to get there. Had he drilled it, then it could have been a completion.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on number 14, Pittsburgh. Late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty.
Well, let's watch Todd Blackledge here, number 14, chasing the ball carrier. He's going to get called for the penalty. Blackledge is now getting to the sideline, and you can see that he does fall on the ball carrier well out of bounds.
When's the last time you saw a quarterback being called for a personal foul?
Well, I really don't recall one, but
We have a defensive foul on the last play of the first quarter. The quarter will be extended by one untimed down. First down, Houston.
Chuck Knowles found everything going against him on that play. We'll have one more play in the first quarter. Blackledge threw the interception, then called for the personal foul, and a quarter can end on a defensive penalty. There's McDowell. McDowell is off to a great start. The rookie out of Miami, third-round draft choice, got his first career interception there. Already leads the team in tackles. He has a sack, a block punt, and has forced a couple of fumbles.
oh, he's a good one. I mentioned Carnell Lake earlier. Bubba McDowell's also a rookie, and these guys have great careers ahead of them in the NFL. Two excellent strong safeties.
Here's what Bubba McDowell has done so far, and Jerry Glanville said it was some of the...
Has been completed.
Jerry Glanville was saying that his play last week was some of the finest play by a safety, rookie or otherwise, he'd seen.
They still haven't decided what they're going to do out there in the field.
They've spotted the ball at the 27 of the Steelers as the officials continue to confer.
You know, Steelers right now, their defense has to try and create some kind of a turnover, not necessarily on this play, but on this end of the field right now. It would give them a tremendous lift morale-wise, and they've been good at it, creating turnovers these last few games.
Now, as the Oilers come to the line of scrimmage, they're held up again.
And you can't even blame it on the instant replay this time, folks. It's something that's going on down in the field. And the replay doesn't have anything to do with this holdup. Do you think he would have sucked the venom out of Jerry Glanville's leg when he was bitten by that water moccasin?
That was the question of the day in the Astrodome. Whether
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. In fact, I'm sure he wouldn't have.
Yes.
Looks like we're ready to go now, and again the quarter can end on a defensive penalty, and the Oilers will get one more play. It'll be a first down play from the Steeler 27. Highsmith and Rozier in the backfield. Rozier cuts up. So the final play of the quarter is about a 7-yard Oiler gain. Greg Lloyd on the tackle for the Steelers. A wild finish to the first period of play here in the House of Pain, the Astrodome in Houston. So that's the end of the first quarter. The Houston Oilers with a 7-0 lead and threatening to score again. Oilers with a 7-0 lead as we get ready for the second quarter of play. You know, these are the typical quarterback shoulder pads worn by Warren Moon in the past. A very small pad, but he switched to a new Douglas pad that a lot of the quarterbacks are using now.
Well, they look big and cumbersome, but they're not. There's a pad missing here, so you can throw. Your arm movement never is impeded, and the rib pads are built into the shoulder pads. And I'll tell you what, these things are very light. Hey, easy, buddy, easy now. I'm out of shape. But they're very light as these small shoulder pads. So most of the quarterbacks, I understand Jim McMahon has gone to these quarterbacks shoulder pads also.
I know you were trying to throw with them yesterday as we were over at the Oilers practice, and you said there's no problem at all with your arm action, even though the pads are big.
Right. Well, this pad over here is removed on the right side for a right-hander, so your arm never has any impediment at all when you're throwing.
All right. A revolution in the pads, and there's Warren Moon wearing the new pads, including the rib guard for the game today. Here's Warren Moon under center for a 2nd and 5 play. Split backs in the backfield. Mike Rozier. Highsmith blocking for him. Rozier can't turn the corner. Still fighting for yardage, but the Steelers defensed it well that time. Dwayne Woodruff, the veteran quarterback, came up in a hurry. Here's a look now at the stats at the end of the first quarter. Look at the time of possession when they come up, and I think you'll see that the big advantage there belongs to Houston after that long 73-yard drive that gave them the 7-0 lead.
Well, no doubt. And of course, the interception, the one turnover, which has given Houston excellent field position, now could come back to haunt Pittsburgh. But when you see a disparity like this in the stats, you've got to figure that at the line of scrimmage, the Houston defensive line and offensive line right now are winning the game.
3rd down. The Oilers have converted both previous 3rd downs. Penalty markers as Rozier carries 1st down yardage, but it could be a legal procedure against the Oilers. Rozier really getting a workout today, as Jerry Glanville predicted he would.
Well, they like Rozier, Tom.
Runner,
yeah, they like him. Lorenzo White's a good runner, but he's not a heavy runner. Pickett's a good runner, excellent runner, but not a heavy runner like Rozier. He'll get that extra couple yards.
Illegal motion, number 32, offense. 3rd down.
Rozier has the strength and the power to get the tough yards inside, more so than the other running back. Meantime, you saw Alonzo Highsmith, 32, get started. Now watch Rozier's drive. You see that body lean he gets out in front of him? Excellent drive. He gets those extra yards when they need them.
4th penalty, 25 yards against the Oilers. Makes it 3rd and 8. And the Oilers come with 4 wide receivers, Jeffries and Duncan in. Pinkett, the lone setback. Gibbons in motion. Now sets 3 wides to the left. Gibbons in the slot. Moon chased, gets away, and goes down short of 1st down yardage. Gain of about 2. Aaron Jones chased him down to make the tackle.
Good hustle by Aaron Jones in that Pittsburgh front. They took away the outside right away from Warren Moon. He's going to try to roll out here to his left, and Aaron Jones gets good position to hem him up. You see, he takes away that outside lane, and then Aaron Jones just keeps after him, keeps running after him, and Warren Moon says, hey, wait a minute, I'm outnumbered here. Let me find a hole to get down in.
So on 4th down, Tony Zendejas is on to attempt a field goal. He's hit 11 of 17 this season. 52 yards has been his longest. This one will be about a 41-yard attempt. And the kick is good. Tony Zendejas from 41 yards extends the Houston lead. The Oilers take advantage of a Pittsburgh turnover for a 10-0 advantage. Header today, most of you will see New England against San Francisco. That game has been moved to Stanford Stadium because of the tragic earthquake earlier this week. It'll be interesting to see Bill Walsh return to Stanford, where he was formerly coach, and for the first time to comment on his old team. Here's a fumble recovery picked up by the Oilers. McDowell who scores a touchdown, or is it no? It's Johnson, Kenny Johnson. Fumble recovery, 15 yards for an Oiler touchdown.
Well, they're going to call that a muff, and he can't run it in. But meantime, that's the 3rd consecutive kickoff that they've kicked to Ouija Thompson, and Pittsburgh outsmarted themselves that time. They said, no, we want Stone to handle the ball no matter where it's kicked, and Thompson, instead of catching it, adhered to what he was told, I imagine, and thus the fumble was created.
So not a fumble, but a muff. Not a fumble, but a muffed kick, and it'll be 1st down, Houston, no touchdown.
Well, you see on the right side of your screen, 87 Ouija Thompson could have caught that ball easily. Why this isn't a fumble is because Dwight Stone never had control of the ball. You must have control of it to be able to fumble it. And in the kicking game, that's considered a muff because he didn't have control, and so you cannot advance a muff. Here's another look. Once again, Pittsburgh just outsmarted themselves that time.
And the turnovers continue to plague the Steelers. In their 3 wins this season, the Steelers have a +10 in the turnover ratio. In their 3 losses, they're a -7. 2 turnovers against the Steelers today already. Well, 12 and a half left in the second quarter.
Most coaches feel that the most important statistic is that final score, of course, that win-loss column. But what gets that score more often than not is either getting turnovers or the lack of turnovers. And Coach Knoll's team has suffered a tremendous, look at these giveaways, and my goodness, they just have a tough time holding on to the ball. In this last play, once again, I don't know whether they were getting greedy or what, trying to get the ball in Stone's hands, but Ouija Thompson had a pretty good return the last time he caught the ball, Tom.
He did indeed. You're right. He just went right up the sideline. Jerry Glanville getting the explanation from Jerry Markbright. And again, it'll be ruled a muff and not a fumble, and so you can't advance the football.
Three times in a row, Zendejas kicked the ball high right to Ouija Thompson. This time, Ouija actually ducks to get out of the way. The Steelers anticipated the kick going in that direction, but Dwight Stone certainly looked, well, he wasn't sure whether he should catch it or not.
First down, Houston.
After further review, the play stands as ruled, a muff football. And so it'll be Warren Moon that comes on the field to try to get the touchdown, which was denied on the muff ruling. First down with the ball spotted at the Steeler 18. Just a few moments ago, the Oilers took advantage of a Pittsburgh turnover to score 3 points. They lead 10-0 and trying to make it more. Lorenzo White is in at running back. Haywood Jeffries wide to the right. Highsmith also back there. White cuts back. Got only a couple of yards before David Little sends him to the turf. Lorenzo White was telling us yesterday that's one of his favorite moves, that cutback.
Good cutback. I know Pittsburgh feels that they can hold him here to just 3 points, that have done a pretty good job. My goodness, those New York Jets are having a tough time this season.
And Herschel Walker and the Vikings out in front of Detroit in a hurry. Kansas City leading Dallas. Tampa Bay in front of the Redskins 7-5. Highsmith and Pinkett split backs now on 2nd and 8. Moon stood in there and then had it almost intercepted. Juggled around by Greg Lloyd, who knocked it away from Alan Pinkett and then almost had the interception. There is a penalty marker down, and preliminary indication is it might be a hold against the Houston Oilers.
I was surprised to see Moon try to get that ball to Pinkett. There was excellent pass coverage over there, and it appeared...
Holding number 77, offense. 2nd down.
Bruce Davis on the hold.
It appeared Moon was intent on getting that ball to Pinkett no matter what that time. Let's take a look and see if we can see Bruce Davis, 77, on the hold. Oh, boy, he has that left hand right out there. My goodness, he's holding Aaron Jones. But here you see a defender come in. Pinkett tried to get across the middle, but the linebackers were both in great shape. And Greg Lloyd would have gone the distance had he been able to hold on to this ball.
Oh, boy, hands of stone there. He should have had that interception. 2nd and 18 for the Oilers from the shotgun. Moon has a man wide open, complete to Duncan. Curtis Duncan taken out of bounds by Dwayne Woodruff. He got some of that yardage back, though, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, Pittsburgh's playing a kind of a soft zone defense, and Curtis Duncan just runs down the field about 10 yards and runs a hook pattern at the top of your screen. Dwayne Woodruff is giving him plenty of room. Now the ball's on its way, and you have an easy completion once again. Houston didn't try to get all of the yardage back on one play. They took half of it. Pittsburgh was willing to give up a half of it because now it's still 3rd down and long.
3rd down coming up. 3rd and about 9 yards, 8 or 9 yards for the 1st down. 3 wide receivers left. Highsmith on the handoff. Fumble. I think it's still loose. Looks like the Oilers pounced on it. Jay Pennison, the center, gathered up the football.
Boy, the way that ball's bouncing around, you have to wonder if Pittsburgh wasn't snake bit. Somebody on their team. My goodness, they had their hands on that ball and a chance to get it. The ball's flying loose, and I think at least 3 Steelers gets their hands on the ball, but they can't quite hold on to it. Nothing there, and Alonzo Highsmith takes it outside, but he never has good control of that ball. I can't tell who really knocks the ball loose, but he never did have control. Now look at all these Steelers around the football. Where is that pigskin? Bouncing right past Lake. Lake can't get hold of it. Delton Hall can't get hold of it. Oh, my goodness. And Dwayne Woodruff was hoping he'd have a chance, but Pennison got on top of it for Houston.
4th down, Zendejas 31 yards away, misses it. Zendejas missed a 31-yard field goal attempt after earlier nailing a 41-yarder. So this time the Oilers failed to take advantage of a turnover by the Steelers, and the score remains 10-0 Houston.
If ever a name stood for a flat-out performance and excitement, it's Bonneville. This place and this car.
Zendejas just missed a 31-yard field goal, so the Steelers have a first down at their own 20, still looking for their first down of the game. Tim Worley picks up 6 to the 26-yard line before he's stopped by Doug Smith and Jeff Donaldson. Here's that missed field goal by Zendejas.
Well, the snap is good. The placement is good. Zendejas just gets a little hook in the ball. Watch it. It's going through the uprights. Now she's going to start hooking and just barely miss. A big kick for the Steelers, not giving in any points up there and playing their worst football. To only be 10 points down has got to lift their morale a bit.
Steelers have had 2 drives so far. A punt and an interception. They had 3 plays and a punt, 1 play and an interception. Merrill Hodge gets the carry, and the Steelers' leading rusher pounds ahead for a first down. Bird and Donaldson making the tackle, and that's the initial first down of the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is what the Steelers need to do, get their running game going. The left side of that Pittsburgh line on your right side just opened up a nice hole for the strong running Hodge. Now, if they can get running plays like this working, then Blackledge can go to that play-action pass and find somebody open.
Hodge, as you see, the leading ground gainer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Blackledge to pass. Deflected and incomplete. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Doug Smith was the man that tipped the ball. 6'6". Doug Smith got a hand up to knock it away from Blackledge, who is one of the bigger quarterbacks. 6'3", 230 pounds, Todd Blackledge.
You know, this is the kind of play you don't get a lot of notice whenever you make. Richard Bird got over there too, number 71. But these defensive linemen, you know, Lips was wide open that time and Blackledge was going to him. This would have been a good gainer, but the defensive lineman couldn't get to the quarterback, so he blocked the pass. Great play.
That's Lips in motion, sets to the right as they run it. Worley picking his way for yardage to the 35, about 2 or 3 yards before he's thrown back, with Bubba McDowell leading the charge and getting a lot of help from his blue-shirted Oiler teammates.
Well, we have some excellent rookies in this game. Right there, Tim Worley is one of them. But the guy that makes the hit on this play, number 25 on the right side of your screen, is that rookie strong safety again, Bubba McDowell. Look at him, excellent position, wide base, his feet are apart. He's able to have good leverage and hold Worley up until he gets some help.
There's McDowell who made that tackle. Worley out of the game. He's carried 5 times for 17 yards. Rodney Carter is in as the Steelers go to their shotgun. Blackledge gets away and throws it incomplete. Pass was high and the coverage was there too. Intended for Carter. Blackledge did well to escape the Oiler rush that time.
Well, it's always tougher to get something done when the other team knows you've got to do it. Here they know that Pittsburgh has to pass, so they get a good rush out of their front 4 this time. They sent 4 rushers in there, and Blackledge, oh boy, I'll tell you, he picked a receiver that was pretty well covered. It's fortunate that ball was thrown high that time. Otherwise, we may have seen another interception.
Yeah, there were 3 Oilers around it. Newsom on to punt. His first one covered 38. Kenny Johnson deep for the Oilers. Good pressure on Newsom. This is a low sailing kick. There's a flag down as Johnson makes the diving catch of the ball at the 25. Penalty marker on the play. Dwight Stone got there just about the same time as the football.
Bring the ball back.
Dwight Stone's going to have to run another 60 yards downfield, too.
Well, the whistle was blown before the...
Start, number 99, offense. Still fourth down.
Whistle was blown before the play could develop. A false start by A.J. Jenkins, who was trying to get a head start on kick coverage, punt coverage.
Say, as important as this man punting the ball is DerMonte Johnson, the center. That ball has to be snapped back to the punter accurately for him to be able to get it off on time.
Remember, the Oilers blocked 2 Newsome kicks, 2 Newsome punts last year.
They had 4 different snappers last year doing that time span too, Tom.
Newsome gets it away, chases Johnson back and takes a fair catch at about the 26-yard line. So a fair catch by Johnson after a 44-yard Newsome punt. Will take a timeout with the Oilers leading 10-0. Dome, which now is over 60,000 in capacity and perhaps a record crowd here today. Warren Moon and the Oilers leading 10-0. Moon is 5 for 5 passing to 5 different receivers. This one on the ground to Rozier across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Stopped there by David Little, the Steelers' inside linebacker.
Well, this Steeler defense has to play their best football to stay in this game, and they're going against the Houston offense that's second leading scoring team in the league. So they've got to create some turnovers, jerk the ball loose from Rozier, those receivers, when they catch the ball, because Pittsburgh offense can't seem to get anything going.
Mike Rozier has carried 12 times for 41 yards. Again, had only 4 carries coming in. He's been injured and was a holdout during training camp. This time he tries to get outside, then cuts back and is met by a wall of Pittsburgh defenders. No gain on the play. Greg Lloyd and Keith Willis were ready for that cutback.
Ready for it, and they're trying to snatch that ball out of Rozier's hands, too. Steelers are trying to create some turnovers. Tennyson right in the middle on Gerald Williams. Well, he holds Williams off, then gets him to the ground. But watch how these Steelers are reaching there for the ball. Greg Lloyd, 95, on the right of your screen, tries to rip that ball loose.
A reminder to our viewers, we will be selecting a Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game. That comes up at the conclusion of the contest. 3rd and 3 facing the Oilers. They go to their red gun formation. Hill, Jeffries, Gibbons, Duncan, 4 wide receivers. 3 set to the right, only Jeffries to the left. Moon's pass is complete to the 40 to Haywood Jeffries. Jeffries just went straight downfield, turned back to the ball, and it's a first down catch for the Oilers. Delton Hall covering Jeffries on the play. Let's take a look at our 10-minute ticker now. Update you on the other scores. Still scoreless at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Herschel Walker with a 1-yard touchdown run for the Vikings. In that Dallas-Kansas City game, former Chief Paul Palmer had a 63-yard touchdown run for the Cowboys. They also got a 97-yard kickoff return by James Dixon, but still trail the Chiefs. Moon's pass wide open, and again, an Oiler first down. Moon has still not missed a pass. This one goes to Ernest Gibbons for 12 yards.
Well, they're mixing things up nicely. Moon goes to the drop back pass that time on first down. Pittsburgh expecting run because they've been getting run on first down. And in that little crack right there, the zone defense, Gibbons is able to find a spot, and Moon is just deadly accurate this afternoon.
Glanville's Warren Moon, 7 for 7 through the air, 62 yards. A perfect afternoon for that man so far. From the 49 of the Steelers, Alan Pinkett got away from the initial charge and then took it to the 40 as he juggled the football, and it wound up with Drew Hill taking it for a good gain for the Houston Oilers. Everything going Houston's way so far. Pinkett fumbles and Hill turns it into a nice gain.
And this is still what makes this game a question. I think right now Houston has the better team of the two, but if Pittsburgh can continue to jar this ball loose and come up with one of these turnovers, then they're going to get in better shape. They need the field position, but it's Pittsburgh's defense that has to win this game.
Isn't it amazing how so far every break has gone Houston's way? Every bounce has gone their way.
Dropped interception by Greg Lloyd could have been 7 points for the Steelers.
2nd and 2. Mike Rozier has the first down as he takes Steelers with him to the 35-yard line. Flags flying on the play.
Yeah, but we haven't seen a fight yet. This may be a record. We're in the 2nd quarter of a Pittsburgh Steeler-Oiler game, and I've not seen one fight.
Hold the presses.
What are the odds on the whole game being played without a fight?
Holding number 32, offense, 2nd down.
Highsmith on the hold. And that'll set the Oilers back. Highsmith shaking his head. He doesn't believe it.
Well, let's take a look and see if we can find him on the right side of the screen. 32 gets in there with good contact, continues driving, and boy, I don't see a hold on Highsmith. I tell you what, that line judge or linesman saw something we couldn't see.
Here's Alonzo Highsmith. His dad Walter played in the NFL, in fact for Houston in 1972, and is now the coach at Texas Southern. Moon goes deep. He's got a man. Touchdown. Curtis Duncan with a 51-yard strike from Warren Moon.
Brilliant offense. Moon kept picking away with the little stop patterns, the little out patterns, and then just when Pittsburgh thought he'd come back to that little 10-yard stop pattern, Duncan breezed by Dwayne Woodruff and Carnell Lake to get open deep for the touchdown, and Moon once again delivered the ball right on target.
Moon has not missed a pass all day. Curtis Duncan with the longest reception of his 3-year NFL career, and Zendejas will try to put on the extra point. It's good. Moon to Duncan, 51 yards, and the Houston Oilers go up on the Steelers 17-0. Oilers song is being celebrated in the Astrodome, at least by a couple of fans, as the Oilers strike on a 51-yard pass to Curtis Duncan. Here's the kickoff by Zendejas. Again, a short kick taken by one of the up men. That's been the Houston strategy so far. This time it's Gerald Williams that gathers it in, and Bubba McDowell makes the stop on him. Well, Curtis Duncan also ran track as well as played football at Northwestern. Here he just streaks downfield.
At the top of your screen, Dwayne Woodruff, the cornerback, turns late. Number 37, Carnell Lake, turns late also. And I can't help but think that Moon hitting those short stop patterns, those 10-yard hook patterns, suckered the Pittsburgh defensive backs that time.
There's Duncan, who back in high school in Detroit was a 2-time state finalist in the 100 and 200 meters. Used that speed to good advantage there for a 51-yard touchdown. Pittsburgh held to only 19 yards of total offense so far. 3:41 left in the first half. Worley, not much blocking there. Across the 25 to the 26. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Lyles and McDowell, good run coverage for the Oilers, who once again are very tough to run on. There's the yardage situation so far, overwhelmingly in favor of the Houston Oilers.
Well, we know Pittsburgh's not that bad a football team. They're just not getting things done against a good Oiler defense. Even though the Oilers have given up a lot of points this season, it was done on turnovers, basically. And if you don't turn the ball over against this Oiler defense, you're not going to gain much yardage anyway.
And the Steelers finding it awfully hard to run against the Oilers, and their passing game has sputtered. That's Worley in motion. And Blackledge will put it up here. And it's complete. Tim Worley fumbles the football. It might have gotten out of bounds. I believe it did. So the Steelers will retain possession. Patrick Allen hit Worley, knocked the ball loose. And the rookie has had a problem fumbling the football.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. This was a near interception and a near 6 points for Houston. Look at Bubba McDowell. Blackledge strong arms that ball right in there, and then the ball gets jarred loose by John Grimsley, but Houston can't recover it before it gets out of bounds.
There's Tim Worley, who began his professional career against the Cleveland Browns with 3 fumbles. And we asked him how he recovered from that. He said it was the lowest day of his life. He just wanted to go hide, but he managed to keep his head together, and he doesn't consider himself a fumbler, and has been a valuable contribution, made a valuable contribution to the Steeler offense. Here he is on a carry. Can't get away from the Oilers. Stopped for a loss back to 30 by Johnny Meads. Meads there in a hurry to take down Worley.
Meads, just outstanding, quick, fast linebacker at the top of the screen, number 91. Reads the play, and then he comes across. He avoids Blankenship's block, and then can get an arm on Worley back there in the backfield. I guess it wasn't a very good block on Blankenship, but give some credit to Johnny Meads for making that play.
We've got a timeout as we come to the 2-minute warning of the first half, with the Oilers controlling things at the Astrodome. Tom Hammond and Joe Namath at the Astrodome, which has truly been a house of pain for the Steelers with 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Steelers on this possession got their first pass completion of the game, but 4th and 8, and Newsom is on to punt again with Johnson deep. Kick by Newsom. Johnson calls for a fair catch and takes it at his own 23-yard line. And once again, the Oiler defense looks very tough, and the Steelers have to punt it away. That one, a 47-yard boot by Newsom. Warren Moon, perfect on the day so far. He's hit all 8 of his passes. The last one went for 51 yards and a touchdown to Curtis Duncan. Stay with us at halftime. We'll go back to NFL Live, where Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson and company will bring you up to date on all the scores and highlights. And Bill Walsh, on his 49er years, he'll have a chance in the second game of the doubleheader, seen by most of you, to cover a game of his old 49er team for the first time. That'll be from Stanford Stadium, another Bill Walsh haunt. He was a college coach there. 4 wides in the game now for Houston with 1:53 left in the half. Moon again wants to go deep. Jeffries makes the catch, but may have interfered. There's a flag down. It looked like Haywood Jeffries pushed off to make the catch. Carnell Lake was covering him, had good coverage, and Jeffries pushed off.
Well, they could have called Jeffries. They could call the Pittsburgh defensive back. There was some bumping.
A 40-yard completion if it stands.
Well, the way they're walking back, it looks like it's going to go against Houston.
There's Carnell Lake, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and Warren Moon, the AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Offensive pass interference.
Let's take a look at the call on Haywood Jeffries right here on the screen in front of you. He's pushing. You see that left arm? Pushed Lake a couple of times, and he got caught. Sometimes the receiver will get away with that, Tom.
Yeah, Lake pushed back, but not until Jeffries made the initial push. Glanville can't afford to get too excited today. Not been a good day for Chuck Noll. That's the penalty situation.
Well, Houston right now doesn't want to turn the ball over. I would think that they should be satisfied with a 17-point lead and backed up on their own 13 just to run the football at Pittsburgh right now and not take a chance of a deflected pass or an interception.
3 wides to the right. That's Gibbons in the slot. Jeffries a wide to the left. I said wide to the right. They're wide to the left. And they'll run it with Highsmith. Chuck Noll was saying yesterday that from the red gun, you've got to be aware that Houston will run the football. That's what they did there.
Oh, they get a ton of yardage off of that draw play up the middle and the trap play. Most people expect to pass all the time when they see those wide receivers in that red gun formation. But Houston mixes the draw plays in beautifully.
Clock ticking away, coming down to the 1:15 mark in the first half. Oilers enjoying a 17-0 lead. Again from the red gun formation, 2 wide receivers to either side, and now Gibbons in motion. And again they run to Highsmith, and he's got some room. He's got a first down. He fumbles the ball out of bounds. Who has it? Steelers say they do. What does the official say? Woodruff came up with a football, but it might have been out of bounds first. Highsmith rambled for 15 yards and a first down.
There was no recovery of that fumble. It's returned to the spot of the fumble. It will be third down, Houston.
Jerry Markbright with a ruling, and once again we see every bounce go the Oilers' way.
Well, Highsmith gets outside here, and then the ball is just knocked out of his arms that time by Larry Griffin, the safety. And the man that recovers the fumble on the ground's already out of bounds, folks. So that's why the ball doesn't go to Pittsburgh. Here you see it going loose. Dwayne Woodruff, number 49, is getting on it, but his body is already out of bounds.
I think that's the third time the Oilers have fumbled, and they haven't lost the ball yet. 3rd and 15 now for the Houston Oilers. Excuse me, it is a first down on the run. First down. They hadn't changed the scoreboard. A first down play. Moon scrambling. Throws it incomplete at the feet of Haywood Jeffries. They put the pressure on Moon that time, and he throws it incompletion. Brian Hinkle was coming to put the pressure on Warren Moon.
I promise you, because of this man right here, number 1, Warren Moon, the Oilers have confidence that he's not going to turn it over. A lot of teams would play it very close to the vest right now. You have a 17-point lead. Your defense has held the Steelers to next to nothing. Why even risk putting the ball in the air? Well, the Oilers don't feel like it's much of a risk with Warren Moon pulling the trigger.
That's his first misfire of the day, and that one pretty much on purpose. He's 8 of 9 now. Tracy Johnson in the game on this 2nd and 10. As the Oilers look for more. Incomplete. At the 49-yard line of the Steelers, Givens collided with Woodruff. And it'll be Moon's 2nd incompletion of the day.
Well, it's good pass protection for Warren Moon, and he tries to get the ball out to Givens. Good defensive effort by Dwayne Woodruff, number 49, and closing on the ball quickly and knocking it loose.
Dwayne Woodruff is the graybeard of that Steelers secondary in his 10th year out of Louisville. Lake is a rookie. Everett in his 3rd year. Woodson in his 3rd. Hall in his 3rd. 3rd down conversions today. The Oilers are 4 of 6. Flag down. Pinkett. And he's down after a short game. Gerald Williams, number 91, makes the tackle for the Steelers. Penalty marker.
You know, we saw that stat. Pittsburgh's 0 for 3.
Offside. Number 99. Defense. Third down.
Williams, who made the tackle, was offside.
Pittsburgh's 0 for 3 in the 3rd down situations offensively. You know, last week in a winning effort against Cleveland, they only converted 1 of 14 3rd down conversions.
That's been a problem for them all season, and I guess it was the defense that really made the difference against the Browns last week, causing all those turnovers. 3rd and 5 now for the Oilers. You see the time left. Moon got away from one man, threw it incomplete, intended for Drew Hill, who was knocked down after the ball sailed by Rod Woodson. And there's a flag down, and I tell you, Keith Willis is angry. He slammed his helmet to the turf, and he's still upset.
Well, one of those Steelers better get him under control. There better be a leader step forward on that defense right now and calm him down. Well, he's leaving the field. I didn't see what happened out there to get him so upset. We mentioned earlier there hadn't been any allocations, any fights yet in this game, and obviously something's gone awry.
We have 2 separate personal fouls. Number 93, Pittsburgh. 15 yards, bumping the official. 15 yards for throwing his helmet down.
So Keith Willis, the veteran who has stabilized This Pittsburgh defense, with his return from injury this year, is assessed 30 yards in penalties, 1 for bumping an official and 1 for throwing his helmet. What caused the disturbance to start with? I don't know. Let's see if we can spot it.
Well, we'll look for, well, where is Keith Will? His number's right around here. He's getting tackled right there in front of the referee, going down to the ground, and he's upset that he got tackled by Bruce Smith that time, number 74. But it's a basic rule. You're not allowed to bump an official. You're not allowed to put your hands on him. It's automatic 15 yards. And out of frustration, I could see how Willis accidentally bumped into the official.
I don't know. We didn't see the bump. It might not have been accidental the way he looked. And Willis thought he was held on the play right in front of the official and was upset that it wasn't called. Now the Oilers have a chance to score again. Moon lofts it up. Gibbons has it at the 3. They say no, out of bounds, no catch. Griffin was defending, and Gibbons made the catch out of bounds.
Well, the ball got there a little late. Gibbons runs a nice route to get open. You see, he has Griffin beaten badly. He waits on the ball. Now, there's no reason he doesn't have 2 feet down. That's just a bad play by Ernest Gibbons. He had plenty of time to get that right foot down, and I'm surprised to see a receiver of his caliber not know where he was on the football field and not get that extra foot down. It appears that he's carrying that right arm in a strange manner, Tom. He might have been injured on that play.
Looks like it. All he had to do was drag that other foot, and it would have been a catch. But Warren Moon, after hitting his first 8 passes, has had 4 straight incompletions.
You know, Gibbons is in his 4th year here in professional football, and collegiately you only need 1 foot in bounds, but in the pro ranks you have to have 2, and we've seen Gibbons get his arm or his feet down many times. Maybe they're looking at it in the replay, but he clearly looked out of bounds to me. Let's see. Right now, his feet are in the air. There's his left foot down, and then his right foot's going to come out.
Second down.
And after a review, the play stands. Good call. He had to drag that other foot, that right foot, to get it in. Gibbons out, holding his arm limply, and replaced for the veteran Kenny Jackson. 27 seconds left in the half. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Oilers at the Steeler 31-yard line. Houston already leading 17-0. 3 wides to the left. Moon looks that way. Under pressure, has a wide open man. It's Duncan to the 5-yard line. Curtis Duncan, who scored a touchdown a moment ago, takes this one to the 5. 26 yards. 1st and goal, Oilers. And they stop the clock with a timeout. Houston threatens again.
All week long, Mike Ryan is a buttoned-up, by-the-numbers, straight-ahead type of guy. But on the weekend, Mike likes to get into his Quad 4 Chevy Beretta GTZ, find a twisty road.
Duncan for 51 yards and a touchdown. Here he finds him for a 1st down, 26 yards.
Well, Moon has so much presence of mind. He gets pressure. He can't find a receiver. He waits and comes all the way back to Duncan, who finally gets open. But that was Warren Moon being calm back there in the pocket, keeping good presence of mind, allowing that receiver to finally break open. The secondary is not going to cover those receivers when they have that much time to run their pass routes.
1st and goal for the Oilers at the 5-yard line of the Steelers. 17 seconds left. Highsmith and Pinkett, the running backs. Moon still has it. Touchdown. Highsmith.
Warren Moon's laughing a little bit there because he knows that that pass could have been caught by 2 receivers. Highsmith went up and made the catch, but I really believe Moon was trying to get the ball to his tight end, Chris Verhulst to Bob Morosco.
I thought I saw him say that was for you, turning to the tight end and laughing about it because Highsmith went up to make the catch, his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. Here's the extra point, Zendejas. Well, once again, everything going Houston's way. You pass for one guy and somebody else catches it for a touchdown. When you're good, things seem to work out that way.
Well, let's take a look. I think we're going to see a tight end in the back of the end zone. Moon makes a nice fake here in Pittsburgh Regis. But look at 87 back there, Bob Morosco from Penn State. I think Moon's trying to get it to him, and Highsmith gets up there in front of him to make the catch.
He didn't take into account Alonzo's leaping ability there.
Oh, I've had that happen before. I threw a pass to my tight end, Pete Lamont, hooking over the middle, and George Sauer cut right in front of the post pattern and went for a touchdown. The guys all looked at me in the meeting the next day and said, "Hey, Joe, who were you throwing the ball to that time?" And I had to confess. But you take those kind of passes. You take those kind of big plays.
Warren Moon laughed about it afterwards. And high fives for Alonzo Highsmith, and I thought I read his lips afterwards pointing to Morosco and saying, "That was for you."
Yeah, I really believe it was for the Penn State tight end, Morosco, who's doing a heck of a job down here. Just a rookie. The tight end spot was open for the Oilers, and Morosco, with his background of blocking at Penn State, won a job on this roster and is doing a terrific job.
Well, Zendejas ready to kick off with 12 seconds left in the half, and for the first time, Rod Woodson is deep, wearing a special harness to keep his shoulder in place. Short kick again, popped up by Zendejas, taken by one of the up men. It is gathered in this time by Larry Griffin, one of the defensive backs, who was an up man, and he has a pretty good return into Oiler territory inside the 49-yard line, where Tony Zendejas has to make the tackle. That ought to please Jerry Glanville. He doesn't think much of the athletic ability of his kickers.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't think kickers and punters are really football players. But I'll tell you, it took Pittsburgh about 5 kickoffs, 4 at least, to make an adjustment in their lineup back there to put some quicker runners. They have running backs, they have wide receivers, and I don't know why they didn't have them in the game earlier after they saw what the Oilers were trying to do on their kickoffs.
Here's the last Oilers scoring drive. Just 5 seconds left now for the Steelers to try to get something. Todd Blackledge is in the shotgun. He has only, I think, 1 pass completion all day. Goes to the end zone. Lips. Incomplete. The Hail Mary pass does not work as the first half comes to an end. The Oilers had plenty of defenders back there. Well, stories of the first half. One of the big stories has been the Houston Oilers defense. They have held Pittsburgh without any semblance of an offensive attack here in the first half. Meanwhile, Warren Moon has worked like a surgeon in the Oiler passing game. Just enough running to keep the Pittsburgh defense honest. And then Moon has gone to work. Alonzo Highsmith with 2 touchdown catches. And at intermission, the Houston Oilers blanking the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-0.
In the 80s, Honda was known for the highest mark.
Dwayne Woodruff both let Duncan run right by him. Houston once again had been hitting those short 10-yard hooks, and I have to believe that Woodruff and Lake both thought that Duncan would stop, but no, straight down the field.
And just to illustrate how everything has gone right for the Oilers in the first half, we think Warren Moon is looking for Morosco in the back of the end zone. A different man makes a touchdown catch, Alonzo Highsmith.
Morosco was wide open, and I really think the ball was going to him, but Alonzo Highsmith did the right thing. Anytime you can reach a ball, get your hands on the ball as a receiver, you go for it. I mean, it doesn't have anyone else's name on it. Whenever you can reach it, get it.
It was the second touchdown grab of the game for Alonzo Highsmith. As we look at the first half stats, you'll see that the Oilers have just dominated the game in just about every phase.
Well, offensively, defensively, I know Malarkey is out for the Steelers, and that hurts them some because he's an excellent blocker, pass receiver, and just his presence on the field. But the line of scrimmage has just been dominated by these Houston Oilers. Plus, Pittsburgh still having a problem with those turnovers. They've got to hold on to the football and try and get something going offensively. And I have a feeling they're going to come back, try and get their running game going again, and try to hit some play-action passes.
Warren Moon was perfect in his first 8 pass attempts. Wound up with 10 of 14, 143 yards in the first down, 3 touchdown passes. Remember, he was already the AFC Offensive Player of the Week for his 300-yard-plus performance against the Bears. And Todd Blackledge, in his 5th start as a Steeler, 2nd this year, replacing the injured Bubby Brister, has found the going a little tough. And he has not had any sort of passing game whatsoever, with only 1 completion in the first half. The Steeler possessions have gone like this: 3 plays and punt, 1 and an interception, then punt, punt, punt. And as you saw on the halftime stats, only 1 first down in the initial half of play for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
These Steelers know, though, if they can create some turnovers, they can get right back in it. Coach Knowles saw his team early in the season take 2 bad beatings against Cleveland and then Cincinnati, then turn it around against Minnesota. They know what they have to do to play winning football. They haven't done it the first half, but Coach Knowles knows his team is capable.
Jerry Glanville looking to reach the 500 mark in his NFL career. Although in the past couple of years, the last 2 years playoff seasons for the Oilers, they have become one of the best teams in the AFC. 3 men back for the Oilers as Anderson is ready to kick off for the first time. Johnson is deepest of all, and he takes this one. Johnson with a return to the 25-yard line. Kenny Johnson on the kickoff return. Tackle made by A.J. Jenkins of the Steelers. And the Oilers with the first possession of the second half.
You know, I'd call this a critical defensive series for the Steelers. Right now, their defense has to stop Houston, try to get some momentum back on their side. So this defensive series right now, the Steelers must get to Warren Moon. First, stop the running game, because I think Houston's going to come out running, and then shut down the passing game.
Ernest Givens, who left in the first half, apparently with his right arm a little shaken up, is back in and wide to the left. And Rod Woodson, who has been injured and hasn't played that much, is in the secondary for the Steelers. Carry by Mike Rozier. Rozier turns the corner, gets 3 or 4 yards. Knocked out of bounds by Keith Willis. Willis was really upset in the first half. We thought he might have been ejected from the game, but not. He's back on the field for the Steelers. He had 30 yards in penalties assessed for bumping an official and then throwing his helmet after he thought he was held on a play that wasn't called.
It looked like he was tackled. The only penalty I ever had called on me was up at Denver one year when I touched the referee. We had a little quick shuffle pass up the middle. They held my receiver. I went to the official and grabbed him, and the referee, he threw a flag. 15 yards on you, Joe.
You mean the mild-mannered Joe Namath grabbed an official?
Well, I was just trying to show him.
I would never believed it. Swing pass to Lorenzo White. Stopped short of the first down across the 30 to the 32, where he is converged upon by Greg Lloyd and Rod Woodson. Jerry Glanville is doing a good job of trying to get those talented running backs, a whole stable full of them, playing time today. Glanville showing not too many ill effects from that poisonous snake bite of yesterday, although he is a little less animated on the sideline, it would appear to me. And he's going back to the hospital for more tests when the game is over, and is going to have a series of inoculations. Luckily, the snake venom was not too powerful, or he might not even be here for the game today. He was determined to come, though, and determined not to use the crutches they wanted him to take. Moon's first pass of the second half, complete through Hill into Steeler territory to the 47 in front of Thomas Everett, the free safety. Everybody getting into the act for the Oilers today. Running backs, receivers. Warren Moon is spreading the wealth. This one 21 yards and a first down.
Well, plenty of protection, and given, or rather Hill gets behind the linebackers and in front of Everett, the free safety. When a quarterback gets that kind of time with a speedy receiver that's not harassed coming off the line of scrimmage, that receiver can get down there behind the linebackers and in front of the safety, as Hill just did.
2 catches for Hill today. That gives him 27 on the season. The Oilers' leading receiver, over 400 yards now in receiving yardage this year. Moon's quick pass to Givens is caught inside the 40, and Rod Woodson takes him down immediately. So there you see Hill and Givens with consecutive catches. Those two combined for 2,117 receiving yards last year, which was tops in the NFL.
Hey, I tell you, Rod Woodson, the cornerback for the Steelers, got to be one of the toughest guys on the field today. I mean, he had a dislocated shoulder last week, folks. Those things are painful. He's strapped down, he has a harness on, and he's out there giving it his all right now.
Didn't you have a dislocated shoulder once?
I had a complete separated right shoulder. That's where the ligaments are torn. They're a little bit different.
Givens went in motion. The play goes opposite the motion. White hit out of bounds with a flag down. Thomas Everett, pretty good blow to the face of Lorenzo White to knock him out of bounds.
Steelers must stop the Oilers on this drive. If they're to fall behind 31-0, forget about it. They don't have a catch-up kind of offense. They can still catch up to a 24-point deficit, but I think 31 would be asking too much of the Steeler offense.
Holding number 87, offense, second down.
Marasco, the tight end, with the hold, and the penalty sets the Oilers back close to midfield.
Well, let's see if we can pick up 87 on the left side of your screen. Fires out into the defensive lineman, but he has, well, I'll tell you what. I didn't see much holding on that play at all. But obviously one of the officials did. It looked like a pretty good block by Marasco.
8 penalties, 65 yards against the Oilers today, the most penalized team in the league. 2nd and 12 from the 50. Moon's pass through the hands of Jeffries, the intended receiver. A little high on the toss from Moon. Rod Woodson was defending for the Steelers.
Pretty good coverage by Greg Lloyd and Woodson back there that time. Moon was off target, but the Steelers were in pretty good position to maybe shake it loose had it been an accurate pass. The problem with the Steeler defense right now is they're not getting any pressure on Warren Moon. They've been victorious 3 times this season. During that span, the Steelers front were able to get some sacks, put some pressure on the quarterback. You don't always have to sack him, but they're giving Moon plenty of time to find a receiver.
And the defense was 0 turnovers, which was the key to victory against the Browns last week. 3rd and 12 for the Oilers. From the red gun, flag down. Moon, should have been intercepted through the hands of Thomas Everett. Jeffries was the closest Oiler. The penalty flew just as the ball was snapped. From the looks of Warren Moon, it's against Houston.
Well, it should have been an interception. They'll decline the penalty to force Houston to punt, but Everett.
Drew Hill was guilty of the infraction. Mark Wright turned his best side to the press box in the camera that time. Well, it's easy to become disoriented indoors, I suppose. Here's the deep man for the Steelers. It's Hill for the first time. And Montgomery, I believe this is his first punt, isn't it?
I don't remember another.
First punt it is, averaging nearly 45 a kick. Tries to angle it out of bounds, gets the bounce at the 1 and into the end zone for the touchback. Montgomery's first punt of the game, and there's the first fight of the game. Didn't amount to much. So the Steelers do hold the Oilers on Houston's first possession of the half. I was talking to Childress yesterday, and he said he was real happy with his play. He hopes to be on the way to the Pro Bowl for the 2nd straight year. Tall, 6'6", 276-pound, rangy defensive end from Texas A&M. Update you on the scores. Indianapolis and Cincinnati locked up in a 9-9 tie. Miami extending its lead. Buffalo shutting out the Jets. Minnesota likewise for the Lions. That's Worley in motion. Blackledge with a first down pass complete to Dwight Stone. Stone was splitting the defenders Grimsley and Allen. Blackledge put it right in there.
It looks so easy at times. The pass protection is good on the right side of the screen. Look at that Steeler wall. When Blackledge gets that kind of protection, folks, he's going to hit his receiver. He's a good passer. He just needs to get more help from that offensive line.
Dwight Stone with his first catch of the day, his 4th of the season. 12 yards and a Steeler first down, their 2nd first down of the game. Play action pass. Blackledge sails it incomplete, out of bounds. Stone again, but he was out of bounds when he made the catch. Was Steve Brown defending for the Oilers.
Stone was open. The ball took him out of bounds. It was a bad throw actually by Blackledge, who gets excellent protection once again off the play action fake. Blankenship peeks Childress out of there, number 79, and Blackledge on balance just throws it too far. Well, you know what? It should have been a complete pass. Dwight Stone was in bounds. He just flat missed the ball. It was a good pass by Blackledge.
Bounced off his shoulder pad, didn't it?
Heck, I thought Blackledge threw the ball out of bounds or the receiver was out, but Dwight Stone just flat missed it.
Stone is the converted running back and didn't catch this one in his hands.
Well, both feet are in bounds, as you can clearly see. All he has to do is make the catch right there, and it goes right through his hand. Boy, when you...
They reviewed it. I don't know why the catch wasn't made.
Tell you, when you're playing poorly, when you're fumbling the ball, when you're not making good blocks, you've got to make big plays. Now, you can't have drop passes.
2nd and 10. Ball's at the 33 of the Steelers. Worley bounces off the first hit and then is taken down for a big loss in the play. And there's Bubba McDowell, rookie against rookie, and McDowell wins that one. Sean Jones initially hit him. He bounced off, did Worley, and then McDowell took him down for a further loss.
Well, take a look at Sean Jones, number 96 on the right side of your screen. Look at that penetration he gets back there in the backfield. The Oilers have Jones in there now. McDowell and Grimsley get over there, but Jones is their best pass rusher. That's why he's in the game. With a 24-0 lead, the Oilers expect the Steelers to be throwing. Remember, Richard Byrd started at defensive end for the Oilers. They were worried about Pittsburgh's running game. Not anymore. They're concerned with the passing game.
The Oilers have had a lot of lethal weapons today. That was a 5-yard loss. Pittsburgh looks for its first third down conversion. Blackledge throws it incomplete. Good coverage. Lips the intended receiver, but Chris Dishman was right with him. Dishman complaining that Lips had a hold of his jersey.
I'll tell you, even if they complete that pass, they're going to be well short of the first down. You know, when you need that kind of long yardage, you'd expect Lips to be going upfield when the ball gets there, but instead he had an out pattern or a comeback, so they wouldn't have made the first down regardless that he caught the ball.
Newsom to punt. 3 times, 43 yards in the first half. Kenny Johnson for the Oilers. So the first possession of the second half for the Steelers pretty much resembles their possessions in the first half. Flags are down as Newsom's kick comes up short. Johnson on the fly, fumbled it. The Steelers are going to get this one.
You want to bet? Don't be too sure.
Well, they did get it, Joe.
Okay.
But Tyrone Stowe is the man that finally got the football, I think. But who's the penalty on?
Well, an Oiler jump. The left tackle, the Steelers moved. It's going to depend on who that linesman.
So the Steelers get their first break of the game. Eric Bears was offside. A 33-yard punt that Johnson fumbles.
There's a left tackle moving too up at the top of the screen. Tell you what, Pittsburgh got away with one there because that just as easily could have been called against the Steelers.
So it was indeed a break for
Yes,
the Steelers in more ways than one.
Let's take a look at the whole play this time. On the right side of the screen, you see 2 Steelers actually jump. And now it's a good move by Johnson to get to the ball, but he forgets to hold on to it.
Well, Johnson had a crucial punt fumble last week and still back there. Special teams have been an ongoing problem for the Oilers this year. Blackledge tries to make Houston pay. Goes for the end zone. Lips, can't get it. Brown and Donaldson had double coverage on Lewis Lips. But at least Blackledge let them think about the long pass for the first time in the game.
And good pass protection that time for Blackledge. That's a positive note. Being able to recover that muff punt puts Pittsburgh in much better position. If they can get on the board now, who knows, another turnover or so, you're going to have a tight game.
Second and 10 from the Oiler 40. Blackledge completes it in the flat, or was it incomplete? Out of bounds. Warren Williams had his momentum carry him out of bounds. There wasn't a defender close, Joe. Why wouldn't he stop?
It's very, I hate to say dumb football, but that's what it is. Here we have a pro, second year out of Miami. You're supposed to know where you are on the football field. The ball doesn't take him out of bounds. He's out of bounds. I mean, what's the coach going to say to a guy like that? I mean, what are you doing over there in the white? We're playing the game on the green, in between the white lines. Don't go out of bounds.
Blackledge now 2 of 10, 20 yards on the day and 1 interception. That one should have been a completion. Again out of bounds. Well, they've got that play down to a fine science.
That's awful. That's awful. They're not smart, and they don't know how to use the field. Their timing is off, and they're not using the field properly.
Ouija Thompson out of bounds that time. No catch.
Well, once again, Ouija's over by the sidelines, tries to keep in bounds and has a chance to, but the defender's right there to kind of help push him out a little bit. But Ouija, even without the defender there, would not have come down in bounds with the ball.
So a familiar scene, Newsome to Johnson. Johnson fumbled the last one, but it didn't hurt the Oilers.
Here's familiar too, Dawson to Newsome.
High punt, Newsome hangs it up. Try to down it inside the 20. And roll into the end zone. Steelers unable to get down to cover it. And so the Oilers will take over at their own 20-yard line. We got a timeout with 9:35 left in the third quarter after a 40-yard Newsome punt. And the Oilers continue to rule in this one. The earthquake earlier this week, and if they can stand the tremors, Enberg and Walsh commenting on the 49ers for the first time. Should be interesting. It's been dome sweet dome for the Houston Oilers. They haven't played here very much, but looking good at home today in the renovated Astrodome, which now holds over 60,000 for the first time, and we may have a record crowd here today. They've won 18 of 22 here. And ironically, the only time they lost all last season was a 37-34 setback by these same Pittsburgh Steelers. Perhaps the biggest win all year long for Pittsburgh. I don't know if they're discussing snakes in the grass or what over there on the sideline, but there's a columnist or two here in Houston that Glanville thought might have bit him initially.
Teams will take their phones off until the defensive phones for Pittsburgh are cleared.
So the Pittsburgh phones to the coaches upstairs aren't working, so the Oilers must not use theirs until both have equal opportunity. Those phones haven't been much help so far in the game for the Steelers.
They've been getting the wrong number.
Warren Moon still at the controls with 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Lorenzo White on the pitch, picks his way to the 24-yard line. Thomas Everett on the tackle. You understand that Oiler defensive lineman William Fuller has an ankle sprain and will not return, as you see that the Steeler headphones are not working.
You think it was they weren't working the whole game? Maybe that's the problem we've seen so far with
some pretty good evidence that they weren't. The scoreboard is testimony to that. Chuck Noll saying, I hate it when that happens. 2nd and 6. Lorenzo White in the flat. Wrestled down at the 25. Just a 1-yard gain. Greg Lloyd was ready for that one.
Yeah, that was a good play by Greg Lloyd, boy. He flowed out there to make the play because Warren Moon wanted to go downfield, but Rod Woodson had taken away that pattern, and Moon decided to go out to his back. Lloyd was right over there. Good speed.
Philadelphia finally on the board to lead the Raiders. That's been a tough one at Veterans Stadium. A lot of shutouts being pitched today in the NFL. Houston has converted 5 of 9 third downs today. This one is 3rd and 5. Moon will pass. Unloads it, and it's complete. Marasco fumbles the football, or was it down? Steelers say they have it. Referees say it was down. So Marasco with a first down catch. Woodson and Little knocked the ball free, but it's a 13-yard completion and an Oiler first down. First catch of the day for Bob Morosco, who was the intended receiver on a Highsmith touchdown grab.
Take a look at Bob Morosco just finding the dead area right there, then turning upfield. Oh my goodness, that ball was loose before he was down. That is a fumble.
And the replay booth is having a look. L.T. Bonner will likely reverse this one, and Morosco knows it. Look at him.
Hey, I tell you what, the whistle couldn't have blown before this fumble. I think you're right. Morosco does know it. He loses control of this ball before his leg hits the ground, before his knee hits the ground. But meantime, that's clearly a fumble, sports fans. But if the whistle was blown, forget about it. It won't make any difference.
Greg Lloyd recovered it, but perhaps the whistle had blown. If it did blow, it was an early whistle.
Oh, it was too early a whistle. How could it blow when the ball was loose? I mean, the ball came loose before he hit the ground. That was either the fastest whistle I ever heard or didn't hear, or just a bad call. It's obviously a bad call.
Let's have another look.
I don't see how the whistle could have blown this play dead. The ball is going to come loose before the whistle should be blown. Now, where's the whistle? Is there going to be a whistle? He's not down. Now the whistle blows, but the ball's loose. It's clearly that he missed it. The official missed it, but the rule in the NFL is if that whistle blows, it kills the play. The question is, did he blow the whistle before the fumble?
Well, he had no business if he did. Greg Lloyd recovered it for the Steelers. Morosco coughed it up.
Does he look concerned or what?
Well, he's got a 24-0 lead, but that was his first catch of the day, and he wants it to stand without a fumble.
And he's still just a rookie, you know. There's something about a rookie making those kind of mistakes that the teammates don't let him forget about very quickly.
There is L.T. Bonner in the replay booth. The initial word we had was that they were not going to review it because the whistle had blown, but I don't see how that could be the case.
No, the ball's loose right now. He's not even down. I don't see how the whistle could have been blown.
And this angle will show you clearly that Morosco fumbles before he is down. There it is. The ball's out.
Yep. Well, you'd think Pittsburgh, they earned this ball. You'd think they'd get a decent break here. I mean, they haven't gotten a break all afternoon. They create a turnover, and then because of confusion, it may be taken away from them.
There's Morosco, who at Penn State was both a tight end and a defensive end. And in high school, a defensive end, a linebacker, and a wide receiver.
You know, I think Morosco ought to say, all right, look, guys, look it. I fumbled the ball. Let's get the game going here. Huh? We have a 24-0 lead. Come on. Fair is fair. I fumbled. I confess.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, they're not even asking him.
After further review, the play stand.
Well, the play is stand. It'll be Houston's football, and that's a big mistake.
Well, you folks back in Pittsburgh, you know you just got the bad end of that one. I wouldn't call it home cooking. I'd just call it a quick whistle, a bad play by whichever official blew that whistle before he should have.
Chuck Noll says, you got to be kidding. Here it is. Clearly, folks, if the whistle blew, it was way, way early.
Well, he's not down and the ball's loose. Now, when's he going to blow the whistle? Now, look where the ball is.
Ball's clearly free when the whistle could have blown. When it rains, it pours. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Mike Rozier carries the football to the 40, where he's stopped by Hardy Nickerson. I mean, the Steelers just can't buy a break today. Well, they say now from the replay booth that he was down by contact. There's no way.
All right, now you folks at home, is anyone going to believe that? I don't. He was down by contact without the football. The football was loose.
Sans football, he was down by contact. The attendance today, 56,830, just short of the 60,000 mark. Moon on 2nd and 8, throws it behind Gibbons, the intended receiver. Meanwhile, Haywood Jeffries was all by himself down at the Steeler 20.
Well, that's the first bad pass I saw Ward Moon throw off target. He never got his body around or his feet under him to put any zip on that ball. Consequently, he missed his receiver. You won't see Moon miss an open man very often.
3rd and 8 coming up for the Houston Oilers.
Got to be careful of that draw player screen play right now. This is a big play. Houston knows that Pittsburgh will be coming, so they're liable to slip that draw or the screen at him.
Got a big day for Warren Moon passing the football. Some pressure. Moon on the scramble. Looks for a block and gets out of bounds safely. I think just short of the first down. It'll depend on the spot. Actually, right on that first down marker, and maybe enough. Delton Hall forced Warren Moon out. Look at him. He's seeing, did I have enough?
Oh, he took a couple of fancy little steps there, Tom, and I believe he got the first down. He stepped right around that marker. If we have a replay, you'll see Moon taking those little bitty steps and then just finding his way past that first down marker.
You know, he's the number 4 rusher on this team.
Good pass defense downfield. They've taken away his receivers, but now Moon finds the alley outside, directing traffic nicely. Now watch this little bit of footwork over here by the sideline. Whoop, whoop, right around. Well, Delton Hall's in our way. We can't see it, but it is a first down.
First down, Houston at the 49 of the Oilers. Moon on a first down scramble. Now throws it right into the back of the Pittsburgh defender. Morosco was the intended receiver, and it hit Brian Hinkle in the back.
Well, you see, Moon's getting a little sloppy now. They have a 24-0 lead. The first half went his way, hit every receiver he wanted to. He's getting a little sloppy right now. A little break in concentration. He's not doing the little things that he must do to be accurate with his passes. That last pass to Morosco, I mean, Hinkle was right there. Had Hinkle turned around, it's interception.
The line has given him protection today, and Jerry Glanville's team on the way to its first AFC Central victory, it would appear. Is it inevitable that you get a little sloppy with a big lead?
Yes, yes. Even the veteran, even the wily veteran Moon gets a little sloppy with that lead.
Pinkett. No, Moon still has it. Faked to Pinkett and then ran it for about 5 or 6 yards. Moon is padding his rushing average today. Little made sure he went out of bounds. Moon came into the game with 110 yards rushing, including 3 touchdowns. And we've seen him run the option pretty well on occasion.
Very well. I'm pretty sure Moon smartly kept the ball here. He saw there was a foul up, wasn't sure of the handoff, and just kept it. I believe Moon did that on his own. It wasn't designed, and he turned a negative play into a positive play with his speed.
He's carried 4 times for 16 yards. Averaging 4 yards a carry on the day. Warren Moon. 3rd and 5 for him here. Tracy Johnson into the game in the backfield. The block for Moon. Down the sideline and incomplete. Again, looked like miscommunication. Duncan was about 4 or 5 yards away, covered by Dwayne Woodruff.
And Woodruff was the miscommunication. He bumped Duncan. Duncan complaining. Duncan tried to run a little stop and go pattern to the outside, and Woodruff bit on the stop a bit, but was able to bump Duncan when Duncan tried to take it upfield, and that's why Duncan was complaining. A good defensive play by Dwayne Woodruff.
There's Duncan, who had a 51-yard touchdown catch earlier. Montgomery to punt. First one, 49 yards. Hill is deep for the Steelers. Good high punt by Montgomery. However, it's into the end zone on the fly, and they have no chance to down it. So the Steelers will take over at their own 20-yard line after Montgomery's punt covered 46 yards. 5:57 left in the 3rd quarter. Steelers still have nothing going. Great ones from that Pittsburgh Steel Curtain defense. Now an assistant coach with the Steelers, and the opposition thinks he's doing a whale of a job.
Yes, they do. He's taken these young defensive linemen, and he's really molded them into fine defensive linemen, but they're not getting the pressure on the pass rush, and that's what's really hurting them.
Kid Worley, nothing. John Grimsley and Al Smith, the 2 inside linebackers, sandwiched Worley. Grimsley, the number 2 tackler this year after coming off a team-leading tackling year in 1988. Their longest drive today has covered a whopping total of 10 yards on 9 possessions.
Well, I mentioned the Steelers offense missed Malarkey at tight end too. Malarkey not only was a good pass receiver and blocker, but just his presence out there because of his experience helped this offense.
The longest drive of the day is 6 plays for the Steelers. Blackledge pass too wide for Terry O'Shea, who was replacing Malarkey at tight end. And Grimsley defending on the play for the Oilers.
Well, you see, this last pass play, Blackledge had the ball in the right area. Now, whether he expected O'Shea to take another step to his... I'm sure he did expect him to take another step to his left. Had Malarkey made that play? We don't know, but I think that's a sign of one of the things that's hurting Pittsburgh's offense right now. Malarkey is sorely missed.
3rd and 9 for the Steelers. Blackledge steps up and delivers it short. There's a flag down right where Blackledge went down under the rush of the Houston Oilers. Derek Hill was the intended receiver. A hold against Pittsburgh. Ray Childress and Johnny Meads were converging on Blackledge.
Penalty decline, 4th down.
In that offensive line, which has given up 29 sacks, resorting to a hold to try to protect him that time. Blackledge shaking his head in frustration. And then Newsom to punt again. This will be his 6th of the game. Johnson once again deep for the Oilers, standing at about his 44. Good field position again for Houston, you would expect. High punt by Newsom. Johnson calls for a fair catch, fumbles it, but recovered it at the Steeler 48-yard line. Newsom's had a workout today. So the Oilers take over in Pittsburgh territory with 5:04 left in the 3rd quarter. Steelers over on the sideline. This game going pretty much like the first two did when they were outscored 92-10 by the Browns and the Bengals. Rozier on the handoff. He's had his best game of the season. He was rumored to be trade bait, but the deadline passed and he was still an Oiler, which pleased him and pleased his coach Jerry Glanville. And he's had his best day of the season so far.
Pittsburgh has to create a turnover here. They've got to get the ball away from Houston somehow to have a chance in this next quarter and 5 minutes.
2nd and 8, 3 wide receivers set to the left. On the ground to Highsmith. Cuts up and falls forward for a first down. Alonzo Highsmith with a first down carry. Aaron Jones tripped him up, but not before Highsmith had 9 yards. And Houston continues to drive on the Steeler defense.
Well, Highsmith's a unique package. He has quick feet. He's strong. He's able to block well. Watch how quickly he gets up here. He turns on the speed right here. Shoots through the 2 defenders and gains good yardage. He's really a unique package for a fullback. Speed, agility, a good receiver, excellent blocker.
He's carried 6 times for 42 yards today. Rozier has been the leading ground gainer. He's gained 50 on 16 carries. Lorenzo White gets into the action. He has a pretty nice run as he cuts up for a gain of 5. Alonzo Highsmith that time, as you mentioned, Joe, showing his versatility, leading White with a block.
Oh, he's just an excellent player at fullback. Alonzo White, being a good runner he is, Houston doesn't lose much when they take Rozier out of the game and put White in there. But Rozier is certainly the stronger runner of the two.
The Oilers, the top scoring team in the AFC, and the Steelers down at the bottom of the list. The Steeler offense is last in the league, and they've had their troubles today as Lorenzo White carries again for the Houston Oilers. Gerald Williams, the nose tackle, gets the stop.
Well, offensively, defensively, it doesn't make any difference which side of the ball you're on. You need to control that line of scrimmage. His big Houston offensive front has done just that today against Aaron Thomas and the other defenders of the Steelers. The Oilers have been winning the battle on both sides of the ball and controlling that line of scrimmage.
Pinkett, the only setback now as Moon sends 3 wides to the left on 3rd and 5. Jeffries wide to the right. Gibbons in the slot. Hill closest to the line. Moon for the end zone. Drew Hill dropped it. Hill was behind Lake and the other defenders. The pass sort of turned him around, and he couldn't hold on as he was backpedaling.
Well, it wasn't a perfectly thrown pass by Warren Moon. If Carnell Lake turns around, he has interception because he's in good position right now. Look at Lake, 37. All he had to do was turn around. Now, if Woodson or Everett had yelled, ball, ball, maybe Lake could have turned around and made the play.
Here's Carnell Lake, the rookie out of UCLA. He was a linebacker in college. He's made the transition to strong safety and has looked very good.
Hey, he's out of Midland, Pennsylvania. That's where his daddy's from. That's back in Beaver Valley where I'm from. And I know the folks back home are keeping an eye on Carnell Lake and proud of him.
Zendejas, 51-yard attempt. Good. Second longest of the season for Zendejas, who had a 52-yarder earlier this season. He's now hit 2 of 3 on the game. He missed his shortest attempt, 31 yards.
Yes, but what's important too is the placement, the snap of the ball. The placement has to be good and the blocking has to be there. They all have to fall into place for Zendejas to hit this ball just right. The laces were perfectly in front, and Zendejas knew that he hit it well. Still not sure whether it's going to make it or not, but he knew he hit it well.
First score of the second half is a Houston field goal, 51 yards by Zendejas, to make it 27-0, and 1:55 left in the third quarter. Will we see Cody Carlson before the game is over at quarterback for the Oilers?
Well, I really think Pittsburgh's still within striking distance. I don't think we're going to see him anytime soon. I know that the Oilers respect the Steelers' tenacity, and the Steelers aren't going to quit out there. They're going to keep fighting, and as long as they have a chance, they're 4 scores down now. Some way they can get a couple of miracles, a couple of turnovers. The Steelers still have a chance, so I don't think we're going to see Moon out of the game anytime soon.
Ready to kick off. It's Woodson deep to receive the kick by Zendejas. There's Woodson. Remember now, Zendejas has been kicking it short. It's Stone and Johnson, the up men now. That Houston strategy to kick it short has worked well.
Oh, worked beautifully, even though Luigi Thompson had a good return and another back returned the ball for good yardage. The turnover was what really hurt Pittsburgh.
This time he kicks it deep. Woodson from the 1. Woodson, the sprinter, can't get clear and does make it back to the 25-yard line. Eugene Seal with his 3rd special team tackle of the afternoon with help from Johnson.
Rod Woodson with a dislocated shoulder last week, folks. He's tough. I've said it before. He's tough.
Well, don't forget, coming up next Saturday from Far Hills, New Jersey, the world's richest steeplechase, the Breeders' Cup Steeplechase, $250,000, followed by the Western States 100. That's NBC Sports World. I'll be there for the Breeders' Cup Steeplechase starting at 4 o'clock Eastern Time next Saturday here on NBC. And then, of course, the biggest day of racing in the world, the 1989 Breeders' Cup from Gulfstream Park. 7 races, $10 million, November 4th here on NBC. Fumbled. Blackledge jumps in after it. I don't know who got it. The Oilers. I think Sean Jones, maybe. And it is Jones, 96, that comes out of there with the football. Blackledge fumbled the snap from Dermontti Dawson. And the Steelers have turned it over for the 3rd time today.
Fumbled snaps, oh my goodness. They should never happen. Can't tell what happened there, whether the ball hit Blackledge low in his hands, whether it hit him just right and he dropped it. No matter, it's Sean Jones, 96, that comes up with the loose ball.
Well, it's been feast or famine for the Steelers this year, hasn't it? When they win, they hold on to the ball. When they lose, they really turn it loose, and they usually lose big. And right now, already trailing 27-0. The Oilers on the field trying to do further damage. Warren Moon still at quarterback. Play action pass. He looks for 6. Short hop. That'll be incomplete to Gibbons.
Just an underthrow by time. Gibbons was open on Dwayne Woodruff, but just an underthrow. Didn't get it to him.
Dwayne Woodruff has had a busy afternoon. We talked to him yesterday, the recent graduate of the Duquesne Law School, now working with the Pittsburgh law firm, and said that was one of his greatest thrills. Woodruff, number 49, the only remaining Pittsburgh player off those 4 Super Bowl teams that they had. He was a member of the last Super Bowl team with the Steelers.
And he mentioned the thing that helped the Steelers was their pass rush. That really solidified the defense, but not getting any pass rush today. Boy, they've been hurting.
Moon is only 5 of 12 in the second half. Here they snap it directly to Rozier, and Pittsburgh not fooled. Aaron Jones will get credit for the tackle. So Houston has been a little sloppy in execution in the second half. Moon 5 of 12, 48 yards after a great first half.
Well, just a direct snap here this time to Rozier, but Pittsburgh plays it well. You can see Thomas Everett, 27, the safety, comes up right now to be able to make the play along with number 22, Larry Griffin. Pittsburgh was looking for that play, Tom.
Tracy Johnson in the backfield on 3rd and 10. Gibbons in motion. Now 3 wides to the left. Moon rolls, lets it go. Gibbons can't hold it. Knocked away at the last minute by Thomas Everett. Good defensive play that time by Everett.
Good defensive play, but one of the weirdest pass routes I've ever seen. We had 2 offensive receivers down there, 3 defenders. Warren Moon obviously trusts his offensive receivers because he put that ball in a very risky spot. On the top left-hand side of your screen, you see 1 receiver there. That's Gibbons. Now the other receiver's coming into play, but Thomas Everett turned around just in time to make the play.
This looks like a Bernie Kosar throw. Watch this. Sidearm. Zendejas with another field goal attempt, 41 yards. Missed this one. How do you figure? Zendejas, who hit a 51-yarder a minute or so ago, misses from 41, and that just reinforces Jerry Glanville's opinion of kickers.
Let's see his reaction here. Oh, shucks. Oh, no, you can't kick it twice. No, the other way, too.
Some of the offensive linemen were a little upset with Zendejas and Montgomery, their kickers earlier in the week. Zendejas and Montgomery get lunch for the offensive linemen, and they thought they'd been cheated 75 cents on some of those lunches. And Montgomery had a stuffed rabbit, Bugs, they called him, that he had in his locker for good luck, and they took out their frustration on Bugs.
Thought they were getting cheated. 2 years he's been charging them $3 for lunch and paying $2.25.
Blackledge can't connect on the pass. Carter tried to make a one-handed catch and then was popped by Meads and McDowell in tandem.
Well, you give Blackledge a little bit of time. He has an open receiver, and this time he just misses him. Pretty good blocking on Bird up front, number 71, and Blackledge just throws it too high. Can't quite control it outside.
Carter and Wallace are in the game now in the backfield for the Steelers. Wallace is the former Oiler. In fact, was a starter for Houston in 86 and 87. Started 13 games out of 20 he played for the Oilers. Play action pass. Blackledge is going to have to run it. He's down inside the 35. He's about the 33-yard line, I guess, where Meads and Lyles pounce on him. Blackledge running. If he should be hurt today, the backup quarterback now is Rick Strom, who was activated from the development squad October 14th after the injury to starter Bubby Brister. There's Strom on the Pittsburgh sideline. 6'2", 210 pounds, first year out of Georgia Tech. Clock ticking away to end the 3rd quarter. And the gun sounds to end the 3rd quarter at the Astrodome, with the Houston Oilers very much in control, leading Pittsburgh 27-0.
Did you know that if you're not using AT&T...
Oilers have played up and down all year. The Steelers have been feast or famine. They began the game with a 51-0 loss at home to Cleveland, in which they turned the ball over 8 times. A lot of those were fumbles. And after that game, the handoffs between the quarterback and the running back were changed.
Right. Dick Hoke, the running back coach, went back to the old way of taking handoffs. Now, the Steelers were taking them with both hands this way so they could get the ball this way and run with it. Sometimes it would hit the pads and knock it loose. But the old way, whenever you get one hand over the other and you have a hole to put it in, you not only avoid those pads, but you clamp down on that ball early. That way, if a defensive lineman comes clean, he's not going to knock it loose. Well, the Steelers haven't had any of those fumbles lately, but they found ways to fumble the ball in other styles.
Tim Worley, who had 3 fumbles in that first game, said that on inside plays now he makes the pocket the old way, and then if he's trying to get outside, he still takes it pretty much straight up without making the pocket. There's a pass complete to Lewis Lips, his first catch of the day, as Blackledge connects for a first down. Here's a look at the stats at the end of 3 quarters. It's still very much weighted in favor of the 27-0 Houston Oilers.
Total yards, 42 by the Steelers. Now, I don't remember a team not having more yards than that at this stage of the game.
So Lewis Lips with a reception does keep his string going. Now 32 straight games he's made at least 1 reception. Blackledge across the middle again has a man open. This is Derek Hill, the rookie out of Arizona. So he might have hurt his ankle or his knee. Rodney Carter is the leading receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Had 25 catches coming into today. And while he is 10-2, we'll take a break. Houston continues to lead. Back after a word from your local station. The NFL, the Oilers, and the Steelers, all rights reserved. Tim Worley close to a first down. Steve Brown tackled Worley. It'll depend on the spot of the football. I believe he had enough for the first down.
Good little draw play. Houston's playing mostly pass now, and Worley's able to find a hole on the right side of that line. This young man's going to be one tremendous running back, but he still needs help with that offensive line. I don't care how good a runner you are. If you don't get some daylight out there, you're not going to gain much yardage.
Carter was shaken up, but is up over on the Pittsburgh sideline. It is enough for a first down on the carry by Worley, who said to us yesterday that he wanted to be involved in the Pittsburgh passing game a little more. Says when they practice passing, he just chills out. He takes a rest. He's coming from Georgia, of course, where Vince Dooley didn't have much to do with the forward pass. They've revised the attendance figure at the Astrodome now. The new attendance figure, 59,091, which is the largest football crowd in Astrodome history. And they've enjoyed it so far. Blackledge, wide open. Worley, he is in the passing game. He has a Steeler first down. McDowell and Grimsley converge on Worley, who makes the reception, his 7th of the season. 15 yards and a Steeler first down. This is their best drive of the game.
I'll tell you who helps this play. On the left side, Terry O'Shea clears out that area deep. He took that cornerback off Worley. The corner had to pay attention to O'Shea, and that opened up that area for Worley to make a good gainer.
Worley fighting for extra yardage right to the last. There's the rookie first-round draft choice out of Georgia, 7th player taken in this year's draft. From the 12, first down. Handoff is to Wallace. Ray Wallace, the former Oiler, is inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Donaldson and Grimsley on the tackle of their former teammate. Donaldson and Wallace exchanging a little pat.
Wallace was talking about the difference between being an Oiler and being a Steeler, and he said the style down here in Houston, the players are a lot looser. Pittsburgh, it's a bit more intense. He said either way can work, depending on how you perform on the field. But down here in Houston, these Oilers really have a loose rein.
That was some practice yesterday with the kids and the wives and everybody as the Oilers spent about 20 minutes going through their paces in street clothes. 2nd and 5 from the 7. Blackledge stands in there, now scrambles back to the 5-yard line. 2-yard gain on the scramble by Blackledge, who is finally downed by Grimsley.
But Blackledge did a good thing that time. He didn't try to force the ball in there. He's frustrated. They haven't been able to get any offense going, but Todd Blackledge was still able to maintain his poise and not just try to force a pass in there. There was good coverage downfield, good blocking. You can see Blackledge has time to throw, but he just can't find anyone, so he saves the play and gains a little yardage.
Blackledge, of course, his dad is on the Steelers staff. He still lives at home with his parents. At least he will until he is scheduled to be married in February. Says he has a great relationship, enjoys playing for his dad. 3rd and 5, or 3rd and 3 from the 5. They haven't converted a 3rd down in the game. Knocked away. Good defense by the Oilers. I think it was McDowell that batted it away, perhaps Lyles. They were both there, and Wallace was the intended receiver.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back with the very same play on 4th down, because he had 2 receivers in the center of the field that may have appeared open back there. Of course, he was back there in the back of the end line. That receiver could have been open, but he was trying to hit Wallace early and just flat missed him.
Lyles almost reached it, but couldn't quite deflect the ball, but it fell incomplete anyway. So 4th down, 3 yards to go from the 5. On 4th down this year, the Steelers are 4 of 9. Fans want the shutout. They're raising the noise level, and Blackledge didn't see something. In fact, he was down to 3 seconds on the play clock, and he has to spend a timeout.
Pittsburgh.
So the Steelers, not wanting to waste a scoring opportunity on a 4th down play, call a timeout. And we'll take a break as well with 10:05 left in the game. And the Steelers threatening for the first time. Record football crowd at the Astrodome trying to urge their guys to preserve the shutout. 4th down play. Blackledge throws it out of the end zone, incomplete. And the Oilers have held. The pressure on Blackledge as he let it go from Richard Byrd. Derek Hill was closest to it. Ouija Thompson was there too, but Byrd put the pressure on. The 4th down pass is incomplete, and the Oilers preserve the shutout so far. Their last one was also against the Steelers 9 years ago. Todd Blackledge has had a tough afternoon.
Well, this one he just throws awful high. He doesn't really have anyone open back there, and he gets hit as he's releasing the ball. That may have had something to do with it. Here you'll see Blackledge release the ball. Just as he's releasing it, he gets hit. And I got to credit Richard Byrd for that extra effort in getting to Blackledge and forcing him to throw that pass high.
Blackledge 6 of 20 on the day, 69 yards and an interception. Houston takes over at its own 5-yard line with 10 minutes to play. Warren Moon is still the quarterback. And he's going to pass from his own end zone. Wide open. Pass is complete to Hill. Hill has a 1st down as quickly as that out to the 28-yard line, where he's stopped by Rod Woodson. Let's check some other scores now. The Oilers on their way to victory could move into a tie for 1st. There's a final. Philadelphia beating the Raiders despite a pass from Burline to Galt. Look at that score. Indianapolis has scored 2 straight times, a 21-yard Dickerson run and a Trudeau to Bentley pass, and they lead the Bengals. If that score stands up, the Oilers will be tied for 1st. See some other scores. Pallure, by the way, scored a touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs on a 5-yard run against his old team, Dallas.
I'm surprised Pallure played. He's only been there for about 4 days.
Lorenzo White tries to get outside, is tripped up. Tripped up by Greg Lloyd. Well, Joe, this fabled rivalry between the Oilers and the Steelers that can get nasty at times has been fairly tame today, and at least in terms of fistfights and so on. Is that because the Oilers had a quick, big lead?
I think that's part of it. I also think that as much as these two teams didn't want to have any kind of letdown coming into this game, last week those wins that Houston had over Chicago and the Steelers had over Cleveland may have taken a little bit out of them. Certainly didn't take much out of the Oilers.
Jerry Glanville said in these games against AFC Central teams, you don't block, you don't tackle, you just kill each other. Pinkett with a carry. Turns the corner. Dragged down from behind by Griffin. And Glanville said it's tough to explain to rookies who have never faced an AFC Central opponent. This is Houston's first divisional game. It's tough to explain to those rookies what it's like. He said, just watch how the veterans prepare, and you're going to get your taste of some real rock'em sock'em football. Third and 4 coming up for the Oilers. Four wide receivers, 3 of them on the right side. Handoff to Highsmith. Alonzo Highsmith may have the first down on extra effort. Everett was holding on with Woodruff, but Highsmith kept churning away and picked up enough for the first down.
Oh, and Highsmith took a tough hit there, too, that time. I thought it was a good job holding on to the football. But you watch Highsmith, when he gets stood up here in the hole, number 27, Everett, comes in and just, lays a good lick on him. But Highsmith's so strong, he held on to the ball and didn't lose his balance.
Look at this effort by Highsmith. He may be 27-0, but he's still fighting for every yard. These running backs of the Oilers are a tough bunch. You won't see them going out of bounds. They like to lower their head and punish the defense. And I think they help motivate each other. They have such a talented group of running backs. Highsmith again on the carry. Brian Hinkle ready for him that time, and Greg Lloyd got a piece as well.
I would be extremely surprised to see Houston throw the ball at all now with only 6 minutes and 25 seconds left in the game. I could see Pittsburgh moving their defense up to that line of scrimmage more, because they have to expect run, and they've got to create a turnover, and I cannot see Pittsburgh playing a loose secondary. They need to climb their safeties up there and try to force something to happen now.
Moon has been on the rise. Brilliant in the first half. Not quite as effective in the second half, but then he had the big lead. 6 minutes left. Lofts that one up. Made for a first down. That's Jeffries. Delton Hall wrapped around him and took him down, but Jeffries had 13 yards and another Houston first.
Boy, I'll tell you, this goes against sound football. When you have this kind of lead and your defense playing well, up the top of your screen, Jeffries just runs down the field and looks for it. Hall never knows the ball's getting there, and Jeffries just out-jumps him for the ball. I tell you, that's risky. That's showing a lot of confidence on the Oilers' behalf and not much respect for that Steeler defense.
Houston appears to be in pretty good shape now with a win in its first AFC Central game, and the Bengals losing to Indianapolis at the moment. The Oilers playing their first divisional game. They'll go to Cleveland next week, and then they have 3 in a row at home. Pickett hits the hole with a head of steam up and cracks forward for 3 or 4 yards. Aaron Jones will get the tackle, so will Thomas Everett get an assist.
But what do you do if you're Pittsburgh? You end up losing this game 27-0 probably. What do? You just go back to work, know and remember the turnaround that you made after that first Cleveland game, that first Cincinnati game. Remember that turnaround against Minnesota and last week against Cleveland. And these guys know they can play winning football. Coach Noel believes in his team playing winning football, but you've got to stop hurting yourselves. You've got to stop having the turnovers and the penalties.
And by a quirk in the scheduling, where this is Houston's first divisional game, the Steelers only have 1 left against Houston at Three River Stadium after this game. They already played Cincinnati twice, losing both times, and splitting with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I don't like the way the NFL has made this schedule.
Encroachment foul. Number 98, defense, second down.
Gerald Williams encroaching. He didn't like it.
Well, he's anxious. He's expecting run. He just jumps off in the nose tackle position and makes contact. I mentioned I didn't like the schedule. You know, you look around the league and you see rivalries like Kansas City and the Raiders. They've already played their games. The Giants and the Redskins, they've already played their games. Cleveland and Pittsburgh have played their games. Cincinnati, I'd like to see those games down the end of the road. As a fan, I want to see it in December when you have those tough rival games, those tough division games. And the NFL in their effort for parity has made a scheduling mistake. Cody Carlson's in there now for Warren Moon at quarterback.
Moon through for the day, and Carlson at the controls on 2nd and 1. He gives it to White, who's thrown for a loss. Big defensive play that time by Lorenzo Freeman. Freeman got to White simultaneous with the football and took him for a loss in the play. So Warren Moon with another fine effort, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. 17 for 29, 229 yards, 3 touchdown passes for Warren Moon today.
Another good day at the office for Warren Moon. You mentioned, Tom, one of the best there is. He has the mobility to save yards as a scrambler, to buy extra time as a passer, and he has a big, strong arm.
Cody Carlson now in the shotgun, the third-year veteran out of Baylor, third-round draft choice. 3 of 5 passing coming into the day, and that one almost intercepted. He was lucky there. Woodruff almost had it and was on the way to the end zone. In fact, Woodruff has 5 career interceptions against the Oilers, and that was almost number 6.
Well, you get your backup quarterback in the game, you want to give him some work. That's the only reason I can figure these guys are throwing a pass right now. With this kind of lead, once again, they're foolish to be putting the ball in the air, and Woodruff nearly had an open field there. Had he held on to that, we could have seen Pittsburgh's first score.
Kim Helton there talking to Cody Carlson. Helton, the offensive line coach of the Oilers, is a little bit of a story. He's one of the candidates for the University of Florida head coaching job.
Well, he played there back in 67 to 69, and he coached the coach Snellenberger at Miami. He's a smart offensive coach, a great technician with the offensive lineman, and he wants that Florida job.
What about that? Dishman downs it at the 1-yard line as Montgomery gets the good bounce, and Dishman is there to down it. They say in the end zone.
Boy, I don't know how, if they did call that.
They're going to spot it inside the 1. 3:17 left in the game. 27-zip.
Is clearly in the end zone, but watch, he gets out of that end zone, gets both feet back on the playing field, is not touching the white line, so that's a fine play, and that's where the Steelers are going to have to start their offensive series. And here is Montgomery's reaction. How's that feel, Montgomery? Yeah!
Boy, great presence of mind by Dishman. Either that or fantastic luck, as he was only, as he was only inches from the goal line. Don't forget, coming up, most of you will see the Patriots battle the 49ers from Stanford Stadium. Others will see Denver take on the Seahawks in the Kingdome. Stay tuned for the second half of the doubleheader coming up on NBC. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left. Todd Blackledge still at quarterback for the Steelers, who now are backed up inside their own 1-yard line. That's how close the football is to the goal line.
Lands is in there at center for the Steelers, number 51.
Replacing Dermontti Dawson. Blackledge is going to pass. Swings it complete to Williams, who stumbles and falls back at the line of scrimmage. Then is covered immediately by Kozak, Scott Kozak, who is the rookie Oiler linebacker out of Oregon, second-round draft choice.
Well, 2 things. Blackledge nearly gets out of the back of the end zone for a safety. Watch his feet back there. Well, he had another 2 or 3 feet. Williams can't get his feet under him, and fortunately he's able to get out of that end zone before Kozak sacks him for the safety.
Kozak getting some playing time for the Oilers. Second down. Blackledge short hops the intended receiver, who was Lewis Lips, and Chris Dishman was covering him. Dishman, the man who made the great downing of the punt a moment ago.
Well, the pass is just badly underthrown. Lewis Lips has a little opening out there. They're giving him plenty of cushion, but the ball is badly underthrown. Even though Dishman hits him before the ball gets there, interference could have been called, but I guess the back judge or side judge conferred that the ball couldn't have been caught anyway.
Well, if the defense works, the Oilers win. That's been the case today. Houston comes with its reserve linebacking core now. Fairs, Brantley, Seal, and Kozak, 4 reserve linebackers on the field. Blackledge completes the pass for a first down. Lips with a great catch in traffic. Brown and Dishman were all over him, and he caught it anyway. Now he's telling the defense just how he did it. Robert Lyles was on the receiving end of that Lips lecture. The art of catching the football in traffic.
Well, Lips is going to make a little turn to the inside, and the ball comes right in there just on the target. Well, I tell you, could have gotten there a little earlier. Lips would have liked that.
We've reached the 2-minute warning at the Astrodome. 2 minutes to play. 27-0 Oilers. Today's MVP, well, a group of MVPs. We're going to give it to the Houston defense on the verge of pitching a shutout, the first Houston shutout in 9 years. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. Excellent effort by the Houston defense, and they have kept the Steelers bottled up all afternoon.
Well, the Steelers have helped themselves stay bottled up all afternoon, too, with fumbled snaps, penalties, dropped passes, fumbles. They've hurt themselves just as much as this Houston defense has hurt them.
This is a first down play. Worley retreats, trying to get outside, and will be taken down for a loss back at about the 5. Eugene Seal, the superb special teams player for the Oilers, gets a tackle with Bears getting a piece of it too, and they outran Worley to the corner. Well, let's look at the ticker, see if that Indianapolis-Cincinnati game is a final. It is. Indianapolis beating Cincinnati at Riverfront, and so the Oilers will move into a first-place tie in the AFC Central. Well, Green Bay had tied Miami, and then Miami has just gotten a field goal to lead by 3. Buffalo airing it out against the Jets today, and Minnesota with a big victory. Kansas City is going to win at home against the winless Cowboys. I don't think the folks in Texas don't like to see that. The Houston Oilers fans, anyway, they love to rub it in. Well, Blackledge threw a little pass to himself as he lost it. Finally got rid of it complete to Merrill Hodge. I've seen it all now.
Well, no, he called Slipsy. I heard him. He said Slipsy. It came out of his hand a little bit. And it was a short pass, so it doesn't. There you go, Slipsy. He catches it, and then he's able to complete the pass.
It was a nice reception. And actually pretty good athletic ability to grab it and throw it again. We got a timeout taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers with 47 seconds left. Don't forget, second half of the doubleheader coming up. Most of you will see.
Come up with Steve's name. Come on. He's been there
Grogan.
for 100 years.
Grogan.
Yeah, Steve Grogan. It's his first chance. Easton didn't play well. Flutie didn't play as well as they'd like. So they're going with Grogan today out there at Stanford Stadium. And that's going to be interesting to see.
There are your updated standings now in the AFC Central. Cincinnati and Houston are tied for first. The Browns are playing the Bears tomorrow night. If they win, they could move into a 3-way tie, or they could fall back to last with the Steelers. So Cincinnati and Houston assured of being tied at the top of the AFC Central. And down the stretch, the Oilers have a lot of games against their divisional opponents, so their fate likely to be in their own hands. 47 seconds left. Blackledge completes it to Stone. White Stone with the catch, close to first down yardage. Patrick Allen covering. That Green Bay-Miami game, Stoyanovich of the Dolphins with a 33-yard field goal with 6 seconds left, and it looks like the Dolphins, after they had been tied by Green Bay, will hold on to win. Rodney Carter out of the backfield with a catch into the 30-yard line. McDowell stops him there. And the third and final timeout taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers with 17 ticks of the clock left. And it's been a relatively quiet game as far as the feud goes between Knoll and Glanville and between the Steelers and the Oilers. Only a brief scuffle or so. And do you think the Oilers are cheap shot artists?
Well, I've seen them hit awful close to that whistle sometimes. I know Coach Glanville doesn't preach being a cheap shot. He likes clean, hard football. These guys take it upon themselves when they get out in that field to inflict some pain, and they go to what they call the echo of the whistle. Not just to the whistle, the echo of the whistle. So that can be construed as late sometimes.
Well, while we have a break, we'll remind you the executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Coordinating producer of NFL football, Ted Nathanson. Today's game produced by Tom Roy and directed by J.D. Hansen. NFL Live, produced by David Neal and directed by Bucky Guntz. Ricky Diamond is the NFL Live news producer. Technical directors Skip Hornbrook and Richard Sansevier. Chuck Noll about to suffer his 4th loss of the season. Todd Blackledge for the final 17 seconds. And he's sacked. Ray Childress gets the sack. For Childress, his 4.5 sack. How do you say that? 4.5 sacks on the season, tops on this Oiler team for Ray Childress. There's a penalty marker down.
4.5 sack.
I like that.
Defense, second down.
Eric Fairs of the defense, guilty of the infraction.
Well, that'll take away that sack for Childress.
So it will nullify that 4.5 sack.
Steelers doing everything they can right now to try and avoid that shutout. You know, you'd wonder why they don't just run out the clock and end the game. They don't want to get shut out. That adds a little extra insult to injury.
Blackledge from the shotgun. Intercepted by McDowell. Is it? Bubba McDowell out of bounds. Bubba McDowell with the interception. The pass intended for Rodney Carter. And you're seeing a star in the making here in Bubba McDowell. The rookie from Miami already has developed into a top-notch safety. His 2nd pickoff of the day. His first 2 in his pro career. Todd Blackledge and Jerry Glanville and Chuck Noll, the old adversaries. Look what Glanville did when that one was picked off by his rookie Bubba McDowell. Snake bite or not, he's going to help him along. McDowell took it 21 yards. Thanks today to our teammates, Frank Priddy on stats, Ernie Morse and Kevin Eschenfelder on spotting duties. 4 seconds left in the game. And that'll bring it to an end. So for the first time since a 6-0 blanking of the Steelers back in 1980, the Houston Oilers shut out an opponent. Jerry Glanville headed back to the hospital with a poisonous snake bite. His old adversary Chuck Noll feeling the pangs of defeat today. Warren Moon was sharp. The defense was excellent. And Glanville's Oilers win it 27-0. A total domination of the Steelers today as Houston moves into a first-place tie with Cincinnati in the AFC Central Division.